Small intro.
Can we get the cast started? Shit,
He's been recording it.
If this is gonna happen, like,
Buzzy was gonna do that as an aside.
I want to get a live review.
Well, I thought you and Buzzy had already discussed like he was gonna isolate, put that out by himself. You knew Buzzy was recording that shit. You knew he was recording.
I didn't know any of this was gonna happen.
I'm gonna be the wrong person to review this because I'm not a big fruit eater.
Well, you gotta bring it here, and I'm not a big. Well, I mean, I eat fruit. Who's not a big fruit eater? I mean,
Me.
All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucking laughing at. We partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, singing, all that shit, dog. Get sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right. Welcome to the second special edition episode of the day. That's 2 exclusives in one day.
Packing them in.
This is a first. We've never done this. We apologize for how this is going to sound.
I think this is our third special in a row.
This is 2 of 2, but like this is like 2 squared of 2.
But our last one with Bill Oates was a special.
We've been putting in work. We working for y'all,
work,
and that's because the city's thriving. So like it's crazy. Like it's work to be put in. There's always something to talk about.
Weekend.
Yes, sir. And I'm half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify, man, at Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. Man, special episode, man, but it ain't nothing special about what I'm about to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well. So please, man, hop on iTunes, but hop on Facebook, rate and review.
Listen, you love us. You see us out in public and you tell us that you love us. So we ask that at the click of a button, you please tell the internet, please tell the world. And as always, look, this is unnumbered, but it's innumerable the amount of times we said this. In lieu of rates and reviews, we do accept shots of Hennessy.
It's real, man. It's a real thing that happens. Like, it's working. People actually show up and they're like, yo, I just happen to have.
Shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conways for starting the trend. People have shown up with random Hennessy. Yeah. I got Hennessy last night at a show.
Hundreds of hours of a free show, man. I'm not mad at a couple of little
I would never be mad at somebody.
Bring your pocket Henny, you know. And if you ain't got Henny, it's okay, but there's little cans.
It goes well with craft.
Yo, man, you know how many cans have been handed around through the last years, man? People just like, hey, I know you. I know you.
Cheers to you.
You got a life ahead of you.
Yeah, so we appreciate that, man. And like if you're looking for us, if you want to see us in person, we're always throwing a show. We're always in the middle of something. But every third Saturday of the month, we're at Arcade Comedy Theater. It'll be our next one will be October 20th, and then every last Saturday of the month, we're at we're at Comtra
Theater 2 of 2.
This is 2 of 2 square. Look, I broke the ice. We're gonna be fun.
Comtra Theater, man. If you're looking for tickets, arcadecomedytheater.com and comtratheater.ticketleap.com, man. Catch us. Always sponsored by Mindful. Always BYOB. So that's BYOB and free beer, man. I'm still kind of flabbergasted about how many people come to these shows and don't know. Like, they're like, so how much for a cup you're there? I'm like, it's free. Like, when I see a flyer, the word free typically is like the first thing that I read.
Well, that's the bait.
Yeah, it's like in a like those puzzles and shit, like to find the words or whatever. It's like one of those words that pop out, like pop or bob. Like free typically pops out, but they don't get that. So, free beer courtesy of Mindful and BYOB.
Yeah, man. So look, the theme of today has been a good time. We've been having a good ass time. We just did, the interview with James Drake. About the festival. That's gonna be a good time.
We just did, if you're listening now, we probably just did that last night.
Yeah, like follow these rivers.
Yeah, follow these rivers. You missed that. You shouldn't have missed that. Make sure you don't miss
back and
us
listen
again.
So they talked about a good time, and our guests here are gonna talk about a real good time. I mean, all the way turned up. We had the founders of the Brewtal Beer Festival, Brewtal Beer Fest 3. We have Meg Evans and James Evans in the building. Say what up to the people.
What's going on?
Hello.
Yeah.
That is way too mellow for the time that you're offering to people.
Yeah,
You'll come in like hello, and you leave like oh
yeah. I'm surprised his shirt is still on right now, man. Like y'all ain't been on the podcast before. Like we don't go way back, way back, man. Like it's super dope. Shit, I think this is the third year we've been talking about this on the festival. I mean, because we were there at Spirit.
First year, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
We were officially a toddler.
Oh, that was crazy as shit.
It was wild. Did you just like you think about that and it was just like the perfect setting? Or like that light show, you know, like it just,
I didn't know that was my
perfect.
introduction to Spirit on the top, like that top floor.
Okay.
I didn't know that was. I had always been downstairs. I didn't even know they had a top floor like that. I came up and like you guys had a great, like the bands were dope as shit. Like the pit, like the motherfucker, like the energy, the beer. Like that was the first time I had anything from Rivertown that I was like, yo, this is good as fuck. Like I mean, and it was. You know, the energy and the ambiance and the whole thing was like different from anything that I had ever seen really at a beer festival. You know what I mean? Like from the just kind of, you know, everybody come in and maybe there's some music in the background and we'll just stand around and drink some beer. Like that was like the music was such an integral part of that. And like the metal, you know, like was such a, like, it was for me, it was different. You know what I mean? I guess tell us about like how that, like, you know, for the folks that are new to that, how that came to be.
Well, I guess I'll kick it off. So, I mean, kind of starting from the beginning, I mean, James has always been like a bigger influence on me for metal. And, you know, if you're like around craft beer people, you're around them all the time. They like don't shut up about beer. Like they'll go nerd out, even if you don't ask for it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was something I noticed that James would do with all his buddies. I would literally be sitting there like, all right, I don't understand what all these things are, but he sounds excited. So I'm just going to, you know, so it was cool. So we always saw these overlapping characteristics, at least with like the passion that goes behind them. And, you know, so James had been familiarized with an article called Brewtal Truth, and it was all about metal and beer. And so that kind of became this influence for this idea that, you know, maybe we could do something like that here in Pittsburgh. And kind of when I finally had time on my hands too, you know, the beer industry doesn't always give you the luxury of only having one job. So when I finally only had one job, I'm like, well, what do I do now? Yeah. So let's start this beer fest, and it's kind of gone off from there.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
Well, and with the first year too, especially when we got there that day, the owners were like, "There's a light installation. Is it cool if we keep it up?" And then we went upstairs and we saw it, and we were just like, "Yeah." And the dude that was running it, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna like put crazy metal images. Like we'll put pentagrams and stuff while the bands are playing." So
dope.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and too, for being our first year, we didn't know what to expect. You know, I think our expectation was like really, really high. But I mean, you know, the reality of like what's going to happen can be totally different. But I think like between the light show, between what you said, like with the bands and the energy, and I don't know, it just everything fits so perfectly, you know, for our first year that, you know, just it felt so good to walk away from that.
So with so many, I mean, oh shit, man, I don't even know where to start. First and foremost, I want to say congratulations on your silver medal, motherfucker win.
Well, yeah, okay, if we're taking it there, then congratulations. We need horns.
Throw out there,
and I'm super excited to crack that. I see it on the table, so I'm waiting on that.
Fucking crazy. Like I just want to get that out there, but like
with award winners.
Yeah, y'all like that's insane. But what with so many beer festivals that are out there, like what about this festival? You know what I mean? Like why this festival? Why come? You know what I mean? Like you can go to one every weekend. Why come to this one?
Well, this is one thing I think that helps set this beer festival apart is, you know, anyone who loves these bands that's coming will get to try a once in a lifetime beer that's associated with a band they might love.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know all about the special beer, one-off beers.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, you got the collaborations and whatnot. Yeah. I mean,
it makes it really special because like a lot of people in music are so passionate, so they want to have anything and everything that's associated with that band that they love so much. So to be able to provide that for them is really cool, and it's cool to see all of our friends brew these beers with all these great bands.
Yeah. What are some of the bands and the collaborations you guys got going on?
Well, I mean, from top to bottom, every band that's on the bill right now, which we have 11 this year, is collaborating. So starting from the top, we have Dying Fetus collaborating with Weyerbacher, Incantations with Rivertown.
Wow.
Y'all got Weyerbacher in there?
Yeah.
That's what started this cast. That's what turned us to a craft cast. We had that Mary Monks.
That Mary Monks was
he's killing
it. Wow.
And then we have going down, I'm just like also mentally going through our set list. So we have Black Tusk with Bone Up, which Bone Up Brewing Company is from Massachusetts. And like they've never been out of their state. We just happened to kind of like meet them and they're like, hey, we love this idea. Let's come. Yeah. So like it's just,
Boston
it's
be
kind of
brewing
cool.
up a motherfucking storm over there.
Yeah.
Man.
No, it's pretty wild.
Ain't no minor league shit over there.
We have Through the Eyes of the Dead collaborating with Spoonwood. So that's James is making a beer for them. Who else do we have? We have then Gatecreeper with KCBC. So that's pretty dope as well. Like, I mean, we don't see Kings County here very much at all. So that's going to be pretty wild. Furies up with Genocide Pact. Then we have Erie Aleworks from Erie. Going with Earthling.
Yeah.
And then Grey Walker with Penn again. They're coming back to defend their title.
Defend the title.
And
Watch the Throne. They on some Watch the Throne right now.
Shout out to Sykes.
In total WWE fashion, heel turn, we're going to do whatever we can to make sure they do not make it a 3P. I will Vince McMahon them, and I will screw them over. I do not care.
Oh, y'all done stepped it up. Y'all got production value.
I was there when they got crowned. I was like, yeah, they earned that shit.
They got production value on the festival. Now, like, it's an event. Like, it's an event, a larger event. It ain't just a festival. This is a whole production.
No, there's a whole. Yeah, there's a theme. There's a whole. Yeah, I mean, like that's crazy. I mean, so I guess shit.
Well, I was gonna add. So one thing I respect most is what's very unique about it. This is like it's a beer festival. It could be a music festival as well because you have that one the genre that's the theme on top of that. So do you see more metal fans, more beer fans? Is it 50-50? Because you can provide an experience for whatever you come for. Like that experience is there.
Well, honestly, I think we're seeing more of people who are into the bands. Like they look at the value of the music more so than the beer. And for us, being brewers, that was one of the things we saw where we were kind of taken back. So we're taking more steps this year to try to bring more of a craft beer crowd in, but also try to bring more unique things for those music fans. Because I mean, we're creating new beer drinkers, and that's the cool part.
Dope.
Like we're marketing to them craft beer versus PBR, or Straub's. Now that we're in Pittsburgh, so I think that's something that's just really cool for what we're doing. And it's also cool to see like people start going out to these breweries afterwards or telling us that, they just saw them at Brewtal and now they're going to their breweries and then telling us about it. And something that's just so
cross
cool.
collaboration, man. Like that's the seed of the civilization. It's what keeps us moving forward, man. You know what I mean? When the royal family starts fucking outside of
Okay,
I
don't understand where you're going with this anymore.
No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, the culture, cross culturalization. You gotta like bring in different, like, that's what I love about the festival. Like, you're having that, like, the bands and the breweries and the art and like having that conversation between the two, and they may not have that conversation or be in the room together and make that thing without you guys kind of putting this on and like making that happen, and like you get some delicious like unique shit out of that. Like that's fucking dope. Like, I mean, it's like I love the industry or whatever, but I love like that whole like exclusivity of going to that festival and being like, yo, this was made for this event right here. I mean, like, so you're gonna come and get that. Are there any that you've heard of that you can, give a little? I mean, I don't know.
They getting the previews because like some people get previews, and some people like, no, you can't see what I'm doing till the festival.
Yeah,
like,
is any collaborations that you're excited about, like? Any styles that
everyone, I mean, we're kind of at a point where everyone's kind of, I don't know if brewers, they do everything last minute. So no one really even knows anything that they're doing until super last minute.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say that I've tried is my own collaboration. I'm doing that not with a band, but Terrier Cult. They have it's a clothing line where they use Boston Terriers and like horror, metal, and other sort of like pop cultural references. And we came across them on Instagram.
It's like when the dogs are playing poker, they just
something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Like, okay.
Yeah, like he did a shirt for us where he took our Boston and put it on Rick and
I thought he was a band.
Oh no, so
a clothing line
that rapped about like terriers.
No,
and
it's
shit.
just a clothing line. It's a clothing line.
His music is all terrier based. Like how many songs?
Well, if he could do that, you could do that. You're the most talented motherfucker ever.
I was like, what?
Yeah, no, so I mean, and they wanted it in an Oktoberfest, so it was like, well, fuck it, let's do it. And the artwork for it is incredible.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. It's like this like 3-headed demon terrier thing, and
like
it's beautiful.
Cerberus, is that it?
Something like that, yeah.
Cerberus, whatever the fuck, the 3-headed dog.
Yeah, I think you're close. Yeah, and it looks really cool. So I'll have those available at the festival and stuff like that. So, but no, I mean, I think the festival. What were you gonna say?
I mean, Spoonwood's doing the one with Through the Eyes of the Dead, and we're doing a New England style IPA with 55 pounds of mango per barrel.
55 pounds of mango
per barrel.
Super juicy.
55 pounds of mango per barrel. Jesus, that sounds like a straight like juice bomb.
I know Grey Walker's with Penn, and they've got Maggie's Farm. They've got a hot sauce guy.
They got
Maggie's Farm? They going for the three-peat. Like they going in.
Yeah. Maggie's Farm. Jelly.
They do like the ultimate collaboration every year. I feel like every year when I talk to them, they're like, okay, yeah, no, we're working with these people this year too. And I'm like, wait, how many people are involved right now? And they're like 50. And I'm cool.
Everyone.
Sweet.
No, you gotta earn that belt. Like they're not giving it up.
Oh, they're not turning over yet.
Not conceding shit. Like you gonna earn that.
Wow.
Yeah, but not to turn, and it's something James has always talked about, so I'm gonna try to lead you into this. But like I feel like the festival, we're really appealing to this like counterculture mindset, and I think like this is almost like our reaction to where the beer industry right now too. It's so one way. It so caters to this white dude who has a beard who's wearing a flannel. Your white beard and flannel.
Your husband.
My husband.
I only wore the flannel though because she's like, "Don't make me feel weird for wearing a hoodie."
Hey, bro.
I just wanted a t-shirt.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Day and I have the most experience playing the stereotype.
Yeah.
Like we got plenty of experience being the stereotype.
Yeah,
so
you're like, so you're a rapper. I'm like, close enough. Close enough.
Something like it, I guess.
So, like, I feel like with the beer fest, we're finally being able to go to an event that we're 110% stoked about, because besides that being our own, but like, it feeds into everything we love.
Yeah, it's not just like it's not just the beer. It's the art and the culture in that. I mean, like we've spoken to a lot of brewers, and like brewers are artists in that. I mean, like because they're scientists in the sense that you have to know it. I mean, same thing with comedians and good artists are also scientists. There's a method. I mean, they're not just. There's some raw talent, that people are born with, but when you become like a master or of a trade or a skill, or you get to those heights,
you 10,000 hours
exactly because you did the 10,000 hours. You took that natural skill and you honed it in some way, shape, or form. So there's that knowledge, and you create, and that's where the brewers are. Like whether it's the flavors that you're using, the method that you're using to brew it. The science. Like Andy will tell like a motherfucker like the difference between the head and the body or whatever, where somebody else can like put these two ingredients together that nobody ever thought about, and boom, now it's a whole different. Like there's so many different ways that you create and how you get there, but at the end of the day, it's this creation. And with this festival, you've taken your personalities and you've used beer to impart yourselves onto that, and then bring it into other things that you're doing, like your music palette. You've taken beer and music, and it's not just beer, it's not just science, it's not just music, it's all of those things represented in one kind of event.
And then this podcast is done because Day said it all.
Yep. Thank you.
No, for real though. That is. It for us though. I feel like knowing that we're going into like being the people who make this product and having to know all that stuff, but it is another creative outlet for us. But even the musicians too. So. He can't get over it now.
You burned him. He's hurt. You hurt. He's hurt. You wasn't ready for it.
I was a compliment. You did great.
You wasn't ready.
I was waiting for Ed to come with the dart, and it came from the bushes. Like it came from the bushes.
Play action. We hit him with the play action. He's so hurt.
That was the Philly special. They read like
He was so hurt. I wish we were live streaming this so y'all could have seen the hurt on his day. Elizabeth on his head, on his heart.
coming to see.
That was funny. That's one of my favorite moments ever. That is one of my favorite moments ever.
So-
you know?
That's what I did.
His hurt. He was.
I hurt people.
So hurt.
Every day.
But I do want to go back to the point you were making about. So I find this interesting in craft. So there is this stereotype of the white guy with the flannel shirt, right? But then what I really love about craft, it's applicable to any vibe that I want to be a part of. So like you can throw a metal festival, a metal music festival, and craft can be there. You can have a hip hop, you have a fresh fest. You can have where everybody can come and enjoy it. Like I'm interested. Like how do you avoid any stereotype? Because like again, it plays in both realms, like metal and beer. So a beer drinker may not want to be around a typical, if they've stereotyped the metal listener. Like how do you downplay that? Because I don't think craft is divisive at all.
I mean, one of the things that like it's kind of stereotypes that we're working on is, you know, if we think about we have to get insurance for this thing, and the moment they hear music or metal or festival, they're like, no way, can't touch that. But like when we're walking into it, you know, we definitely have to keep in the back of our mind is like, this is very extreme music. People get excited. There's mosh pits, you know, there's stuff like that. And that was one of those stereotypes that we were thinking might happen, but like it didn't. You know, we had a very chill vibe. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think of what else. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I've always tried to encourage people, like, even if you don't like metal, just come down, because like you might just hear like a riff or a hook or a breakdown or something that you might find yourself enjoying. But there's so much else to do. There's so much more to do. We typically try to have like a coffee lounge in the basement, video games. There's outside smoking areas. There's booths to go check out merch and fun things like that. So. Just come for the experience.
Well, that might be another good stereotype to even talk about, is that people think that metal sounds one way too. So, I mean, right now, I think our lineup is stacked with a good variety. Our main headliner came with a package of mostly death metal-esque type bands with their own individuality, but we also picked up another package that can be described more as like doom, so it's a little bit slower. You know, people who like rock might be more into something like that. You know, so we're kind of playing off all these things, and even our local bands, which I forgot to keep mentioning, is with the collaborations. You know, Plasmids and more punk oriented, so we kind of bring that element in.
I mean, I guess try not to let stereotypes scare you away.
That should be a theme in life.
Embrace it, because you're gonna find something that you love, no matter what.
If you're listening to this podcast and you still are holding on to stereotypes, man, Jesus Christ, what the fuck have you been listening to?
How are you?
And how did you hear about this?
Two black dudes talking about metal. You gotta throw all stereotypes out the window.
How'd you hear? Oh, you just like to do the same shit? How'd you hear about us? No, I mean that's what I love, and I mean honestly, like that's what I love about this festival, because like metal is like, when you're saying it's counterculture. Metal is like, kind of, from my understanding, is speaking truth to power, just kind of like using like this medium to kind of like get out your, like, what you really want to say. It's not a soft kind of, you know, like, hey, let's be cool with feelings and everybody get along. Like, it's so if you're gonna say something, I mean, like, say something of meaning or whatever, like, this is a theme or genre that you would do that with. So like with this festival, while you want people to come in and like enjoy themselves and like kind of branch out or whatever, at the same time, if they don't fuck with it, like, really, do you give a fuck? Like, can you have it like a, oh man, like how do we get more people into metal? Like,
I see what
you see what I'm saying. Like, ain't it like? Because I mean,
it's
I don't know,
counterintuitive to the message of metal. Which
it's like it's kind of angry in a sense. I mean, while there are genres or whatever, because we had Solar Burn on Fresh Fest or whatever, we want to have the genres or whatever is there or whatever, and that's dope. But if we had a lot of like people that were like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this kind of a festival, you're tying in with the bear, and it's like. There's only but so far that I'm going to have to reach out to try to get people to come there. At the end of the day, if you don't want to fuck with it, go fuck yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's your argument.
It's your loss, Chief.
Yeah. Like,
all you can do is really present it. And if they don't, then it really is their loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people are fucking with Brewtal heavy. Now, that's why I asked, like, is it more the metal or more the beer? Because the industry's booming. So, you know, craft. I will say this. There are a lot of beer festivals, and there are a lot of craft fans that go to every one. Like, they be at every fucking festival.
Yeah, I mean, for us though too, it's like looking at it as like all the response from the, like, we don't ask necessarily every brewery to come be part of it, you know. Whereas I think a lot of beer fests in the area might do that, but for us, it wasn't about that. It was always about the passion behind like the people who are there because they want to be there, you know. Because if they're not going to have fun, because not only is it a little bit longer of a festival, but also it is very specific. So if you're not into loud noises coming at you for multiple hours in a day, you're not going to be into it. So like for us, having so many of the brewers coming back and saying, hey, we had a blast here, you know, that changed, like, that mattered. I mean, not to discount like what our consumers think, but like for real, like if the brewers mattered a lot, like knowing that they were having a good time, that means that it hit everything for us because we were having a good time. We wanted to create something for us as brewers as well.
Well, especially because it was pretty unanimous that all the brewers had fun. And I mean, some of them are on the floor and it's 8 hours of getting pummeled sonically. Right. And they were like, this is some of the most fun we've had at any festival, period. So it's very rewarding.
I think that's important though. Like the people who are staffing an event or any place, if they're having a good time, then naturally you as a patron will have a good time. Like if you ever went somewhere to a restaurant and you got really good service because this person really like buys into the message of that restaurant, you have a good time at that restaurant. They got suggestions, they're going over the specials, all that shit. Like, and so when you go to a festival and the brewers are having a good time, we're handing you good time after good time.
Well, I mean, you guys probably had the response with Fresh Fest though too, though. I mean, we had a blast at that year festival too. You know, like I think that's what I'm hoping beer fest, because when you're being bombarded by everyone and their mother being like, hey, I'm gonna have a beer fest because I'm raising money. It's like, yeah, you want to help everyone, but you know, the festivals that have the best causes and the people or the best events, you know, those are the ones that are going to stick around for longer.
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said about, like, you know, putting on an event that not everybody is going to like. I mean, like, you know, if everybody is coming to it, then like, it's just fucking, it's ketchup, it's fucking mayonnaise, it's like culture. It's pop culture or whatever. There's something to be said about an event. Like, not everybody wants to come to Fresh Fest. I mean, there's shit. I mean, they were very vocal about how they weren't going to come to fucking Fresh Fest because of this, that, and the other. Yeah,
but the thing though too is those niches needed to be fulfilled though too. You know, they had to, and like the people who went and had a great time are gonna make everyone else feel like dog shit because they weren't actually there and they didn't give it a chance.
But also, like, there's a place where, like, I mean, people that love fucking metal and love like beer or whatever, they want to have a festival for them. And like, yeah, if you want to get outside of your box, come, cool, do that or whatever. But if you don't, then go fuck yourself because we want to listen to and have a great fucking time doing what we do. Right. And like, I'm not, like, I listen to metal. Like, I have friends. I mean, I've been in or whatever. Like, I'd never turn down concerts. That's just a rule of thumb. I don't give a fuck what it is. Like outside of some, I'll go to any, and the energy that you get from a live band is like no other in that environment. People that are in that environment, and seeing that. So like, I just think that there's something to be said about putting that on and saying, hey, if you love this shit, this is what we doing, man. Come through, like, because man, it was a hell of a show. Just watching the belt and shit. Oh, that was a sick ass belt. Didn't Tom put that together?
Yeah, so Tom and Stacy, Brian's girlfriend, they work together. She did the leather portion, and Tom did the metal, and he just had to revamp it. It got a little water damage.
Shout out to Tom Klinkensmith. If you ever see some of these pictures from the show and whatnot, our 100th episode and the Epicast or whatever,
yeah, he kicks ass.
Yeah, man, he's dope as hell.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to say too, though, about like having a full event full of things. Like every year we're just trying to find new ways to top what we're doing at the event. We talked about where we have a video game lounge, we have a full cafe. Black Forge takes over, Retro Gaming Pittsburgh.
Shout out to Black Forge.
Yeah. So like we have all these things where I think not only is it just like a full day of just music everywhere, but I mean you could find whatever to do. You can walk around the entire building and find something new to do.
Mr. Smalls is big as
hell, yo.
Man, like I didn't realize how many levels and layers, and like it's almost like a video game where like you gotta you're on a quest, but then if you venture off, you'll find like a new fucking like adventure. Like
ain't nothing small about Mr. Smalls. Pause. Pause. I had to pause that. That was so flagrant. Why would I say that was so flagrant? I apologize. I had to pause myself.
That might have been the first plausible pause. He paused on his own damn. So, all right, so I just want to get into this pawpaw that we just got here. We got this pow, this motherfucker.
So we got a pow. And here, shout out to Brian Conway for bringing that.
Shout out to Brian Conway for bringing out this motherfucker.
You went hunting for pow pows?
Yeah, you got to hunt for pow. If motherfuckers don't know.
Not really hunting. You just.
If motherfuckers don't know, like you got to find these motherfuckers. This is like a regional fruit.
He went on a grown-ass Easter egg hunt. That's what he did.
Pow-pows are from here?
Yeah,
they're in Shinley Park.
And like you got to, they're around here. And they, I don't know. For some reason, you got to hunt them. And
I don't think I don't want to disrespect what this man brought to the table. I just don't think you got to hunt that hard if they're in Shinley Park.
Well, when I say hunt, I mean like you ain't got to track it down.
And
like
they don't run.
Yeah.
The pow doesn't try to avoid you.
You have to be on the lookout.
It is fucked up how we be killing fruit.
I just like the idea you're hunting for fruit, and he's using his Leatherman to cut this thing apart.
Yeah, I love the Leatherman. Shout out to Leathermans. We all bonded on this Leatherman.
I'm certain y'all get crazy excited.
But yeah,
when you
Leathermans
have a use for that fucking.
Yeah, because you always have a use for that motherfucker.
I don't
man.
think
man.
I have one. I do have one. I ain't gonna front. I do have one.
There's like a nut thing. In the
and so it's like it's a banana kind of.
I don't think it's a banana.
Fleshy.
Nah, you should have smelled
kind of.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
That smells terrible.
Yeah,
it does not smell good at all.
It's not.
Some of the things that smell the worst
had one.
taste the best.
It smells like a 13-year-old's boxer. It smells terrible.
Okay, I would ask you like how, but it's cool.
Just you wake up, you just. Sometimes you just pick them up off the floor and smell them to make sure they're all right.
I'm gonna try to. It looks fresh enough. I'm not even gonna smell that bitch because I like after you told me that.
Those are seeds.
Oh. Yeah, those are the seeds.
Can you just eat it raw?
Those were going to be new pow pows till you killed it. That's a fetus. That's a pow fetus.
You have to try a little bit, please.
I'm going to.
I am going to take a little bit of this.
I just bought.
I think it's organic pow pow. I think like he found it in a field, so I don't think anybody was like throwing pesticides on this bitch. Like
he's worried about what pesticides might be on his knife.
You gonna eat off the? Okay.
I have pesticides on my knife too, quote unquote.
That's not that bad.
Wait, on your what?
Pesticides
on your what?
On my knife.
Knife. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard something totally different.
I actually ain't bad.
This is the first here, guys.
Yeah. So
James
apparently James doesn't.
James didn't like it at all.
A lot of fruit.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't hate it.
Pow pow. I want the listeners to know the reason that Ed Bailey isn't eating this pow pow is because it came out of someone's pocket. I'm not going to eat fruit out of somebody's pocket. I'm not there.
I'll never eat it again, no matter where it came from.
That's actually really good.
Yeah,
that's
I'm with you, man.
It is. It's like a custard. Like that's really good. You want some of this, Buzzy? You sure? Yeah. Man. He said good on the pocket fruit. Yeah. I'm sorry. This is good shit.
You'll never ask for that shit again. So I don't know how to get this back on track.
I don't know. I mean, would you make a beer out of Pow Pow? Would you make a Pow Pow beer?
I had gone some with the intention, but I got basically a box of them, and as you can see, there's lots of seeds in them, and it's like it was the most
The
work
work?
for the little.
Yeah, there's no
little.
reward.
I was
for
gonna
that.
say, would you be able to get enough pows to actually brew a beer? Like, how
I'm
many-
sure you probably just need a lot for sure. Like I wish I could find someone who would actually just sell like who did the work and buy that. Yeah, like I've seen plenty of
makes
breweries
pop-out
do
beer?
them.
Jackie
Yeah.
O's. Oh, that Juice said. That ain't that one? Oh, she was like super ratchet. She was a rapper. I gotta look her up. Jackie O. Milky,
None of it.
milky.
No.
It's got a melony kind of taste to it.
You
too.
are still eating that fucking thing.
Pop out is fucking delicious, man. Y'all missing out.
You're eating Shinley Park.
Dogs
Dogs pooping that grass. Well, I guess that is for
See,
first.
this motherfucker just said on the last podcast, like, I didn't know I was a.
Was that
Disagreeable
argument?
asshole.
I'm not a
After, huh?
disagreeable asshole. I just told the truth.
Yeah, that's about a disagreeable asshole.
All right, well then that's cool. Y'all think I'm an asshole? I could stop speaking altogether. I'm telling my asshole. You know what? Fuck it. I'm in my feelings now.
We got a bike letter. We got to like we had
That was
beef
early
with
on.
we had
That
beef.
was early on. I didn't. What I said wasn't offensive at all. It was a joke. They took it too serious.
beef with bike gangs.
I've been told
He was
several.
about to get run up on by a motherfucker.
I was about to get-
on a
Wait,
Huffy.
bicycle game. I mean, we're in Pittsburgh,
He was
so I
in
mean, it
Huffy.
might be bicycle.
Yeah, he was about to get Huffy down.
I was about to get run up on by.
Yeah, bicycle gang. Yeah,
No.
Yeah, a
yeah,
dude
beef with a bicycle gang.
with his pant leg rolled up on his right ankle. Like that's how I was gonna get run up on by one of the. Nah, I bet it's funny. In the past couple weeks, I've been told in a very nice way that you're kind of an asshole, and it's weird. Like I'm not an asshole at all. Like a very nice
Ed, I don't
person.
think you're an asshole.
Thank you for saying that.
Aw,
You're welcome.
Thank you.
aw,
Thank you.
very
mean-
nice.
That's an award winner who just told me I'm not an asshole.
So can we talk about this award and how you got the?
And I'm drinking this award-winning beer
Yeah.
right now.
Tell us about this.
And it just
motherfucking-
looks
yeah.
Tell
gorgeous,
us about
gorgeous,
this
gorgeous,
motherfucking
gorgeous.
award because I mean.
Well, if for
just
anyone who
wanna-
doesn't
I
know,
just
because we
wanna
keep on
say-
saying that
I
I have
just-
an award, but no
I
one
just-
understands
I
what
just
that
wanna
means.
say I feel kind of a little special because I got have a little bit of this motherfucker a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You was in on the. We were in on the bottom floor.
yeah, a little bit a while ago, and now I'm like, that's crazy. I heard about it last night. I was at a beer festival, and somebody was like, "Hey, yo, did you hear Meg won?" I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Yeah.
Nigga, that
Yeah.
was me.
that was you. Well, see, still, it's still in the context
the
of this
asshole.
motherfucking
He's an
podcast.
Last night we talked about this. Somebody came up to me and said, "Sitting across from
Some guy,
dude."
some dude.
You specifically call him some dude. Yeah, no. So I don't know. I mean, Rock Bottom. I mean, we send beer every year, and I mean, I've sent beer to awards ceremonies for the past few years now, and I was really jazzed on this beer. I'd gone to this honey beer summit, so I got to learn about brewing with honey, and that was just like such a cool experience that I came back and I made this beer, and I kind of just like babied it, you know. So I feel like this means that much more because of the like care that I put in, you know, like tasting it every day and like making decisions based on that, you know, like I don't do that with everything, you know. A lot of times I'm just like, nope, we're gonna do this and we'll make sure, you know, I know what's coming out of it, and this one I, you know, didn't do that. So it's a really light beer. It's a cream ale, so it's very crisp, easy drinking. But yeah, just it's very delicately has
so-
honey notes.
she's
Like
so
I don't
humble.
know.
So
I
this
know,
is
it's just-
so this is the
I'm
Great
just
American
so
Beer Festival,
humble.
right?
Yeah, the Great American Beer Festival.
And
Come on.
so this is silver medalist at the Great. What's the subcategory or just?
So no, I mean, well, honey beer was the category, and
Yeah.
then you offer your subcategory, and obviously I put in cream ale, but that more so gives them an idea of what to like also look for. You know,
And what do people look for? Like, because I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like when you talk to brewers or whatever, folks would be talking about like they could taste flaws in beer and like mash builds and all this shit that I have no
Yeah,
fucking
I
idea.
can't-
But like when you're building a beer, you're doing this or whatever, like, and you're talking about judging it, because clearly when you're building it and you're submitting it, you kind of want to know what they're looking for in order for you to. So what is that? What makes a silver medalist honey cream ale?
I mean, for this, and that's cool, is that not only did I have to hit their category for honey, which a lot of the times they're looking for something that, you know, exudes notes of honey, but it's not overwhelming. You know, a lot of times they want the characters, but they don't want it to be too cloying or too sweet. And then not only did I have to hit those notes, but I also had to make sure it was a good cream ale.
Whoa.
To
back up again. Cloying?
Yeah, it's like a overwhelming like sweetness. Like if you ever like have like soda that's flat and it just might have like all this syrupy nightness.
Yeah, it's
like
syrup, but it's kind of the bounce with it. So you're just
and
like,
I mean, you might have had beers that just are overwhelmingly sweet. That might be what you describe as cloying.
Cloying.
CLOY. Cloy.
Cloying.
Cloying.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm about to fuck somebody up.
Hunt
With
it
that.
in some special episode.
Oh, I'm gonna
and
drop
we
that on
just
somebody.
Cloy?
Next time you
Okay.
interview someone that you know,
I'm
just
about
drop
to
it.
just
on
drop
it,
that.
No, I ain't
Yeah.
not here. I wouldn't waste it on somebody who might know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm doing that to wifey. I'm be like, yo, these sweet potatoes are cloy.
What's that mean? Google. Is a thing.
And it's that's all right. I'll get this.
Google.
Just hand her a laptop.
You don't have to ask me. So yeah, not too sweet, a little taste of honey or whatever.
Yeah, so it also had to be a cream ale too. So those are pretty light and crisp. They might have some notes of like a little bit of corniness. Mine I thought I put corn and rice in it, so I wanted the crispness from the rice, but a little bit of like sweetness and a little corn character from the corn, but you know, didn't add too much to make it overwhelming characteristics of the beer. But yeah, I mean, then honey on top of that. Exciting things. I don't know. I'm so excited. Like, I was so hungover yesterday, and
That's awesome.
I just like all of a sudden I'm like trying to Grubhub and get food in myself, and all of a sudden I feel my phone blowing up, and it's like 10 people texting me, and then my Facebook going off, and I'm just like now ugly crying because I'm so excited, and this is, you know, I mean. I'm the type of person I don't really want to care about awards, but at the same time, it was like one of those things that like
it's
love
such
to be
a
recognized.
it felt really good for someone to
like
be able
you
to
did
say,
that
hey,
shit.
yeah.
Like you fucking did that
Yeah.
And
shit.
especially
like,
you incubated that thing. Like you was like, I'm on
Yeah.
it every day.
Yeah.
Like, even hearing you
Yeah.
describe it.
And I remember like we were talking or whatever, and that's the thing that like, man, like when like leading up to Fresh Fest or whatever, like you were telling, like you were like, I want to make a beer where like nobody's like talking about me as a female brewer or whatever. They're not talking like, they're not asking me about like me, that they're just tasting the beer, and that shit like rung true as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that's like, you know, because I do get, like, we have those questions. Fresh Fest is built around that kind of identity thing or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, as humans, like we just want to be humans, and like I get reminded that I'm a black man. You know what I mean? I don't wake up remembering that shit. It's something that like throughout my day will happen,
Right.
and I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that is right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
I'm
like
black.
type thing. And when you're doing something, like you don't want to be looked at like, oh, well, you're good for what you are in this category, whatever. Like you want to be recognized as like, as you're just good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's just it.
Exactly.
Like, you know, something that just, and again, like congratulations, because that fucking, like your beer, like it was one of the beers that was talked about very heavily afterwards, like leading up to it and afterwards. Like it was the talk of the town, talk of the fest. And then to see you like take that and then later come with this medal is just like, it's just crazy. Like it's like you're steamrolling right now. Like
I hope so.
and,
Keeps
like,
going. You know, it's a
you
good
should.
pressure. That's a
It's-
good pressure to keep on making sure that I'm like just brewing beer that is doing that though. And yeah, I mean, but not only, you know, the female thing being like part of that, but it's like also Rock Bottom having that title behind me is oftentimes like knocks me down a peg in like the grand scheme of the industry right now. Not amongst like my peers, but more so in our consumers, you know, like if they get to choose Uppity Jagoff or I don't know. I mean, you have Mindful in front of me, like Mindful, there's most likely they might think more highly of Mindful versus me. And, you know, it's just something I've experienced for the past few years, especially when I've been trying to fight against that and let people know that I, you know, like the work that we do, you know, we're putting just as much passion behind it as anyone else in this industry. It's just who pays the bills is really where it comes down to. So like having that kind of be a thing where I get to say, yes, my product got to get a silver medal. That feels really good.
You're saying people won't give you the same like respect because
they looked at it as
corporate.
corporate.
Yeah.
Looked at it as
corporate beer. And
Dude,
like,
we had a line at Fresh Fest. That's never happened to me in my entire life. We had people lining up to
Fresh
drink
Fest,
our beer.
everybody in there was real.
Like,
so if they like some shit, they gonna be there. Damn the name behind
and it was such a great feeling. Like I've never experienced that, and it felt so good to like be part of that project and be part of the festival and like have that be my experience. You know, that was the best thing I could have walked away from.
Yeah,
you know?
but you also made like Rock Bottom like a brewery that like was respected amongst like in the craft beer scene. Yeah, I mean, like I like, at least I don't know, maybe it's happenstance or whatever, coincidence, but I wasn't like very familiar with what was going on in Rock Bottom until like you had taken over, and a lot of that is your personality as well as like I mean the beer that you're putting out. Like you're putting out the beer and you're like you have a personality and you're getting out and you see it in a different way than. Like again, whatever was being run there before and versus when you took, like I was like, oh shit. And not only have you taken that and made Rock Bottom a thing, but now you are also separating yourself like from the pack, like
what you've done is
in
remarkable.
the scene. Yeah, I mean, it's not just like, oh well, Rock Bottom is cool. It's like now Meg Evans is a motherfucker that you should probably know about. Like,
because Rock Bottom, I'm gonna be honest, Rock Bottom was the restaurant across the street from the Improv.
At
one point, and now it is a staple in the craft community.
Yeah,
and like that is to be respected, and people got to recognize. And you've done a really good job at like getting that message out there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing though, too, is I appreciate about like you guys is that like I feel like I get that once people get to know me as a person versus our general consumer who might not necessarily know, like if they're first being introduced to beer, that Rock Bottom's not their first place that someone suggests. They're sending them to Dancing Gnome, Grist House, etc. And I totally get that. And so it's like it's a good thing is that I hope people like see that's just that we have a medal under us now, and my team did that, and people will give us that try. Like give us a try. Maybe we will be I mean, maybe we will be that first suggestion. Like, oh yeah, they won a medal. Let's go try them. Yeah. They're making medal winning beers. Like that's something that's really cool about it. And but I mean, and I hope like especially keeping these relationships going is like people like you guys are helping me as well. You guys are also being my next voice because I thought I was saying it loud enough and saying it enough, but I still come across people who will like stick their nose up at me. Like I'm telling you, I've been at festivals where people will walk right by my table because they see Rock Bottom. Yeah. And so, it's good to have relationships like with people like you guys who are, incredible. You guys are intelligent. You guys are a good voice for our community, and you're going to help open people's eyes up to what else is out there.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. We also appreciate the fucking Built for Purple plates that y'all brought to the festival. It tastes like it tasted like the pizzelles. Is that what it is?
The fennel seeds.
Yeah, but it tasted like the Italian cookies. Those Christmassy. Like
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't eat anything, so I've never.
We'll have them this year. Don't worry, we'll have.
Y'all know what I'm talking about?
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is that what they're called? The pizzelles.
Pizzelles, yeah. There's like a waffle cookie.
Yeah, it's like a waffle cookie. Or whatever.
They're amazing.
And like they're like the wafer type shits, and they're like the sweet like.
Why not just
they do like I've seen like wafer. Like I think that's like the anise is like the traditional, and then like they'll have like vanilla ones. It's like an Italian thing, right? Is that
I think it's an Italian thing or whatever. But that's what the beer tasted like. It was fucking dope. Like it was, that. Oh,
it was pretty funny to watch all day. People like fennel, and then they would try it. They're like, that's not half bad. That's really good. Actually.
Yeah, because I did the same shit. They were like Steve. He was like, yo, it's fennel. I was like, fennel. Like I think fennel. I'm thinking like. I don't know, like sausage or some shit like that.
Same
like,
here,
you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I drink it. I was like, oh yeah, I like that shit. Like that's what I said. It took me back to Christmas. It was like,
well, when we racked, so we put the fennel in the fermenter, and we weren't getting anything. And then when we racked it, it was just like an explosion went off.
When you racked it,
when we transferred it from the fermenter to the serving vessel.
Oh, okay. So you knew that?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I thought he was just going to explain it more. I didn't know he was transitioning into another thing. I thought he was just going to stay on that for a while.
I was like, am I? Because 4 years in is like, do I know what I'm supposed to know? Did I miss that on the last previous podcast?
That's the synergy.
He said
Is
that
when-
mad. He flowed into that like we knew. He's like, yeah, the rocket. I'm like, okay, what?
You racked it. I was like, did you really have cookies in that motherfucker? Like,
No, just a buttload of fennel seeds.
yeah.
Buttload. Is that-
Buttload. Wait, we're allowed to swear on this. You guys have been swearing the whole time.
Yes.
Buttload.
Yes.
I
I just watched
love-
Friday. Yes.
I love how reserved you folks always are on this podcast when y'all come on, because I see you in the wild always. And
I know. I'm trying to like open the door and be like, "Hey,
it's
save
because I'm not
everything."
drunk.
like-
It's because I'm not drunk. If I was
But
drunk,
That's
I don't know.
my choice.
Let's do it
We're
then.
shit face.
That's my choice.
Why are we still?
There's a canteen of beer.
Well, damn it.
A canteen.
Oh, the drinking partners.
Like,
He's about
hold
to.
on.
He's about to get it on.
do it. Are
Yeah.
y'all about to do a?
No,
I
no.
see y'all be doing. I
Oh.
love
He's-
y'all. I love y'all marriage because y'all be doing like the shotguns
yeah,
together.
We did a
Shotgun.
double
I
shotgun.
love
We did
that.
a double
Saw that.
one
Yeah,
with one of these
Do you
motherfuckers.
see how it ended?
I saw.
I had a hole of jagged metal in my mouth,
Yeah.
and she was done drinking and shoved it in my face. I'm like, oh, I love
I
drinking
look-
beer with blood in it.
I look forward to seeing their shotguns at festivals. Like if they're out, if they're like traveling or whatever, I look forward to seeing them shotgunning something.
Our community is growing too. I mean, we have Lauren at North Country. Like, I love her so much.
yeah,
you need
yeah.
to talk to her at some point. She's awesome, but she can like crack it with her finger. She can like put the hole in the can with her motherfucking finger.
I can't even open a beer with my finger.
Like the first time I saw that, I was like, "Shit! I think he's got like a lady boner over her right now. Like this is amazing."
So we're gonna shotgun some shit.
Do we
Oh,
have
they're gonna
something to
well, we gotta
shotgun?
get Buzzy in here so they can.
He needs more
Buzzy can
cans.
capture that.
Unless we got to go to the store next
Buzzy
door.
got
And
a fucking fridge full. We gotta steal as much beer
Can
from
we
Buzzy.
steal?
he's like, "I have nothing shotgunnable."
everything is shotgunnable if you want it to be.
Yeah, everything.
We have a couple of
with enough
Cinderland
will.
beers in our car too. What? Yeah, he probably. Right.
Sorry, it's an
It all
investment.
goes in the toilet anyway.
They're throwing Brutal Beer Fest. You could be the official photographic. I don't know. Just give him a shotgun because I like watching him do it. Because listen, if you could have some shit in common with the person you're married to, like that is, I'd imagine
It
that's
is a
got to
very
be.
fun thing.
You
to
guys are
watch.
fucking
You know,
doing
when we got
shotguns
married,
on
Like y'all
Facebook.
got like y'all definitely have a brand.
Y'all look
as
like y'all
a-
have fun being together.
So we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary of marriage,
Oh, shit.
and
Congratulations.
you know, like,
Congrats.
Did we give horns for that? Brr, 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 brr.
Yeah.
and we took a shot of whiskey when
Yep.
after we said our I do's. But I think now it's like we've always talked about. Well, if we were to renew
At
our
the wedding?
vows,
At the wedding.
yeah, at the
Like, on the
wedding
bottle,
ceremony.
bottle.
That's fucking. I'm plagiarizing that. Take a shot of Hennessy.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you have to.
I do for real.
Make like, if there's nothing you can make your own at a wedding,
Can we
make
guzzle
your
that
shots.
Bridge the Gap? Huh?
He said
I gotta
that's a
break this-
sin.
I gotta break the
I don't
seal
know about
first.
that. I'm a brewer. I can say no.
That's yak,
way.
man.
No
I
way.
never guzzled yak. I will.
Slayer beer.
You can't shotgun
shotgun a
bottles.
bottle.
Can't
yeah.
shotgun a bottle. Okay, well then
We
we're
need to
not gonna
give
do that.
Buzzy our card.
Buzzy,
and
why would you? That's not an option on that.
Is there
Can we
another
give-
mindful?
Can we give money to someone to go get beer from next door?
Can we do a crowler?
Is there another
Shit,
crowler?
If
Another
it's-
crowler?
With all
Wait,
four of us,
that's
Can all
what we-
four of us do a crowler? Is that a thing that can happen?
Oh my god!
I don't know.
Oh my god!
There's a crowler here.
first of all, that's
Oh,
that's 6
shit.
lips. I gotta ask wifey if that's okay. That's 6 additional lips. I don't want to listen. I want to have a home to go to after this shit. I sacrificed my family for a shotgun.
That's hilarious.
Well, okay, maybe afterwards.
Maybe
But
afterwards. At least do
That's
another
what we
double.
did at the guild event. Was one
I think
of
it was
those.
a Southern Tears crowler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because who was with Southern Tier? They were like, yeah, if you need beer at all
Justin.
tonight, we have like a cooler behind our table. Just take beer. And then I got way, way, way happy.
Yeah.
What is ought to happen?
What happened?
I said, what is ought to happen? What happens from time to time when you're at beer festivals? Like,
I lose a
I'm-
shirt.
I am typically like, I don't have that like show up late, leave early. I'm just there like afterwards. Like, yo, so what else we drinking?
Well, that night was really funny,
you in the
so-
industry now?
Yeah, well,
You get the after festival hangout.
yeah,
You in the green room?
We
in
went
the
into
green
that,
room.
We went into that day. Blackcraft was doing a wrestling event right down the road, and we're like, we're gonna come from 6 to 7, then we're gonna leave and go watch wrestling all night. 9 o'clock happens. We're still there. I'm shirtless, partying. I'm standing on the rise there that surrounds that middle grass part. I'm stone colding beers and pouring them down myself, getting in trouble with somebody else that we may have collaborated with.
Yeah, no, I mean that's I mean I love it. Like, I mean, just even my like experience at like the Brewers Olympics and shit. Like, just that environment of having the Brewers there and enjoying themselves. And like, it's not just like, again, it's yeah, we want people to come and enjoy, and we want to expand our product and like bring new people in or whatever. But we also want to build an environment where like we also enjoy being in. You know what I mean? And like, it's not like, it's not always about like, like, oh, let's always like turn our noses up and like be kind of beer geeks and like, or let's just kind of make it so that everybody can kind of do whatever. It's like let's do what we love. Let's like make stuff that we still love and like promote that, because if we can do that and we can bring people that will be there for that, then we can do something that we love and not, I guess, like die working for the man.
I personally just like making sure people are having fun.
Yeah.
Like if it's putting on Brewtal Beer Fest or getting shirtless and running around, throwing biceps at people at a random beer festival. I just love doing it. It's fun to like make people smile, laugh, just like take something away from it that's not just like standing there talking about beer with other people who make beer. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't like to do that.
I feel like that's good for the first like maybe 15, 20 minutes. And
I'm like,
now,
you put this hops in it?
Yeah.
Now watch my arms grow. And I'm going to run around and I'm going to kiss you and hug you. I don't care.
I got to get my face paint going for the next, like, in fact, Brewtal. Ooh, that might be a thing. I'm going to get my face. I'm going to get my sting face.
I was saying corpse paint, dude. Yeah, could do it. That's
What's
exactly it.
Sting?
You going to go 80 Sting with like the
No, I'm going to go crow sting.
Nice.
Oh, I'm going to go
Nice.
crow sting. Yeah.
You need to,
Yeah, no. I don't know, either that or Ultimate Warrior, man. Ultimate Warrior was my
that'd be
like
so much fun.
low key fave, like,
And he's always a good reason to dress up like a girl's bike with all the tassels and stuff.
Yo, that fucking match. So they're like the two matches that really stick out for me are watching Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant.
That was huge.
Okay, so
At
I just came
WrestleMania.
back from using the restroom. People are listening. I don't know what the fuck they're talking
And
about.
the heavyweight intercontinental match between Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. Like, those are the two kind of like big matches in wrestling that like kind of fucking, I was like, yo, this is ridiculous.
I was a 30-year-old man. I thought The Undertaker retired, and I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, my childhood is officially dead. It's dead. It's gone.
Wait, so he's not retired?
No, he came back.
No, he's
How
coming.
old is he?
He's like 52.
Wait, do you guys want some of that Cinderland beer at all? Yes. Okay, I have a couple in my car.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. All right, so y'all talking about wrestling.
Yep.
All right, good. So the only thing I know about wrestling is this. When I play a wrestling video game, I choose Rey Mysterio because he's athletic.
He's awesome.
Okay, so I didn't think it's like he doesn't hit as hard. Like when he punches you, it doesn't take as much power, but he can punch you faster than the other person.
And he was a smaller dude
yeah.
too. So
Is he like in the all-time? Like, is he like in the Wrestling Hall of Fame? Or
not
no?
yet, but he will be someday for sure.
Is there
Because
an actual Wrestling Hall of Fame?
Yeah. There's a bunch. I mean, WWE is the only one that gets taken seriously for some reason, but there's a few.
Well, we had our guy Duke Davis on.
Yeah.
Might have been almost 2 years ago at this point. And he's in that like local. There's a local or underground wrestling scene to build up to. And I went to college with I went to high school with a shorty. She's like in California. She's a wrestler now.
Really?
Like she's like on the scene out there.
Nice.
It's weird. Like I don't know much. I didn't realize that there was an underground wrestling scene that builds to this larger context of the TV shit. Like,
I mean, we watch it just because it's
y'all watch it together?
yeah.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
Y'all are like the ideal marriage.
It's
Y'all like each other.
We
How do you teach someone to like their wife? I feel like that's an issue for a lot of husbands because I listen to Steve Harvey and there's a lot of strawberry letters about dudes not liking their wives.
Well, I would always watch the stuff that I like grew up like Stone Cold, The Rock, that whole era. She's like, "Why do you watch this?" I'm like, "Well, I know what it is now, and I just accept the ridiculousness of it and just have fun with it." And she started watching, did the same thing, just took accepted what it is. Accepted the ridiculousness of it, and it's a fun way to waste a couple hours on a Monday night. It's fun. And now randomly, if I'm walking through the house, she'll give me random Stone Cold Stunners, which is that spells true love right there.
Stone Cold Stunner,
It's dangerous. You gotta be Stone Cold Stunner sanctioned. You gotta have a belt. Like
She's got a silver medal. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, that's
Let's be
true.
real. I've been trying to.
That is true.
Well, Stone Cold. I mean, that's why I chug beers and say the F word a lot.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
I don't know I don't know if I have one yet. I don't know if I've listened. Yeah. I mean, I've been watching for 4 years now.
Yeah, so you're not even. You don't.
Yeah.
No. I know who it is.
Uh-oh.
Finn Balor.
Irishman.
No. He comes out in black underwear, and she's just like,
oh yeah.
And then
like
you just
anytime
that.
I'll usually be working on our computer, and
That's
anytime I'll hear her or he'll hear his music, I'll just like go turn.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know who that is.
What she did a hashtag like boyfriend fuel or boyfriend material.
Oh wow.
And I was like,
No. It was please be my boyfriend.
Yeah,
please be my boyfriend.
Now you have goals. Yeah, I mean, you got sit-ups to.
Nah, it's cool though. You got like somebody described something and it's not you. You be like, wait, hey, I thought you loved me. I thought I was your dream.
I am. That just makes me feel good because I mean I know there's more than one attractive woman on the planet. I mean, like that's so everybody like that's fine. We should all be like, yeah. I'm sure. I know Cat fucking. Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure. I mean, I used to date a woman. She had Dwayne Wade over her bed.
Yeah,
like literally, I was just like, how?
I see it.
That's
well, you're younger.
I was in college. Like,
I guess if you're younger,
I didn't make any money. I couldn't. I had no argument to have him come off the wall.
Yeah, there's no future there, so I'm not gonna raise a fuss.
At that point, I'm like, yeah, he's better than me.
Yes, yeah.
You want to pour the rest?
I'm
of my
okay
glass?
with my girl liking Dwayne Wade. I'm not okay with my girl getting the picture and putting that motherfucker on top of her bed. That's a whole.
She had it on top of her bed before I got there.
Yes, exactly. So so you just kind of know where this is going. Like before we even get into feelings and shit.
It's a different type of openness when you're like, yeah, no, that person's attractive.
We
we're
definitely
all human beings. We're all
and
human
we were
beings,
never going to Miami. Like that was never gonna happen. I was never buying you a flight to Miami. Like no, hell no. I'm gonna lose you one night at the club. I know where you are.
If I'm the only attractive motherfucker in your world, I'm dating a liar. Like that's clearly. Yeah,
sometimes you like
to
be
lied to. Can we talk about
to.
this beer for 2 seconds?
Tell us about this beer.
I don't really know much.
Like
I showed up at work earlier today to pick up some beer for our podcast, and so my previous boss and I didn't really necessarily leave on great terms, but
I know the feeling. I've been there.
But I mean, he's kind of back in our industry and like full force, and so I kind of wanted to make like a peace offering. So the big pour, I basically just handed him like I had like I was getting rid of some beer as I was walking out, so I just handed him a couple beers. I'm like, hey man, peace offering. We BS for a few minutes, whatever, and it was good. He like shook my hand as I left, and so it was a good feeling. And I think I kind of did it for myself too a lot. I needed that kind of closure, and like I accept you, and I'm gonna say, hey, whatever, man. So he works for Cinderlands now, and he did the same for me, and he dropped off a couple of these beers. I was like, oh, that's cool.
No, he was over at Brixton for a little while.
He was, yep.
You know what I mean? Yep. So, yeah, no, the industry, it's promiscuous.
Those are cool peace offerings.
This is a pretty delicious peace offering.
Yeah, can I have some of that?
Yeah, this one's for you guys. This is what it be.
Finish your beer.
I got food on my
This
plate.
is delicious.
Yeah,
Do that.
look, my kids left town this weekend, so I'm all in on whatever. This is guys' night out. Like, you understand what's happening with me over here. I'm fucking excited. Look at this table. I drank all of that. I don't care. Like,
So, I mean, like, what's your mark on the what is the mark that you want to leave like on the industry? I mean, like, and
are you
it's
talking
dual-
via
dual.
Brewtal Festival or?
I feel like you need to answer that question.
No,
I think no. I
both.
mean,
I want to hear two answers.
but I think
'cause they're two different.
He's a
No.
good answer for this. I feel like
They are
you just
one.
have
I
such
do?
you are.
No,
I
no,
mean, you
one
just
money,
you
one
They
have
are
such
one-
a vision
one
for
band,
what
one
we're
sound.
gonna do one day, and what you
I
wanna
actually
do.
bought a Vans flannel.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm super craft now.
This is. But this is
I bought a Vans
This is
flannel.
my-
I
Yours
was
is
like,
the
oh,
Vans
flannel.
flannel. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is like thick
this
as
is
fuck,
the
man.
thickest fuck.
yeah, no, they're actually. Does it zip? No, yours
No,
button. So
buttons.
I got the one that's. Yeah, they're actually really
Yeah.
good shirts.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm so
Perfect.
happy you like love Vans. We like have so much Vans stuff.
I'm
got the-
growing. I'm growing in
I
that.
got some cheap Vans.
So I'm
on.
growing
I got
in my
the-
Vans.
I got
I don't
those.
even like to tell people I have Vans on whenever
No,
I
no.
see
I'm a
those
Nike
type
guy.
shit like that.
no,
It's
it's
the
so
same
sick.
shoe, though.
I like
It's the
love
same-
this
it's
about
No,
old
but
school.
that is
Thank
a
you.
different type of.
Shoes
I
are
have
something
those
James
that-
and I
they're
like
all
black
really into
classic.
together.
Sole
too,
is gum.
you know?
Yeah,
So nice.
Yeah,
I'm such a Nike guy, but Vans. Okay, one, the flannel was dope. They have a lot of colorways, and you know what? My kids I can get them Vans, not that expensive.
You know
No,
what?
and they're cute as fuck. I know.
Yeah, they
And
are.
they're very
so
cute.
It's so
Very
cute.
I just
cute.
bought my. I was like, you know what? Vans might have me. They
What
might.
I-
They got me. They took
what
me.
I love most about Vans is the same thing I love about Converse is that you can beat them the fuck up and they're still good. Like I mean, like it's like the, like
How did
the
motherfuckers?
more I beat,
hoop
like the
in
more I wear them, I
Converse?
don't have to walk. They don't have to like. There's like I bought a pair of J's. J's are only good when they're new, and then once they get fucking, they're fucked up. They're done. Like it's a frivolous. But Vans, I beat these motherfuckers up for years, and the dirtier they get, like the better I love them. You know what I mean?
I was
real.
an Adidas fan for a long time.
I have some Adidas that I really like.
I got
I-
fucks with
when-
Adidas heavy. But
They
I
be
fuck-
Where I
OD
grew up,
for
you could
Adidas
wear
sometimes.
whatever. And then I moved down to Steubenville, Wintersville area,
Okay.
and you would get judged on your shoes. And I was wearing just like Walmart specials because no one cared.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I was getting picked on. So I told this story on one of the videos with
I was
Brian.
so sad.
My sister got a pair of guy shell top Adidas that were a size 5. My shoe size at the time was an 8. I took my toes and I balled them up in the shoe and wore them all day for an entire year.
Kids
not
suck.
to
It's
be
just-
picked
that's
on
the moral of
anymore.
the story. Kids fucking
And I
suck.
Adidas, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was like, this shoe's comfy for some reason.
Did you take them off under your desk at least?
No. I wore
God
them all
damn,
day.
let 'em
just
like
balled
you
up.
just be in school with the shoes
I'd be in
on all
gym
day?
class just running in pain, never
What?
showed anything.
How?
I just didn't want to be picked on, and I would rather show nothing. in
3
front of-
sizes too small?
Dude,
how was that possible?
That shit.
Dude, my toes were so balled up and cramping. I did not want to be picked on. I'd never experienced
How
it before.
come nobody in your family noticed? Your mom was like, wait.
No, because I was like,
Your
I'm not getting
feet-
picked on. I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Right.
just saying,
So-
like, yeah, man.
But
No,
I
I mean,
wore
I-
them for years, and then I put on a pair last week, and I don't know what happened to my feet, but the sides blew out over the sole, and I'm like, nah, I'm just sticking with Vans.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I've definitely had, like, a size too small. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've had to, just because it is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
3, man.
I had a
Jeez,
pair.
that's
No, I
a
did-
whole different.
I was so, like, I would come home. As I saw the bus coming, I would cry. I was just like,
Yeah.
I do not want to do this again.
I know. I just want to cry right now. I'm just like,
That is
breaks
that is
my-
way.
very.
Freaking
I personally-
Three
girl.
sizes?
I found a way. I didn't deal with it anymore. And then the next year, I made sure to get, we went to Gabriel Brothers and got some and ones at the time when those were still cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And then I
Is that
never.
Stefan? Is that Marlboro?
and one that was AO hot sauce earthquake, and one them
Yeah.
shits died out quick.
yeah.
But cool, as long as they were the correct size. 'Cause
yeah, man.
They were.
Damn, bro, 3
That
size. I didn't even know
shit.
your foot could actually fit into a.
Yeah.
I'm going to go try to put my daughter's shoes on tonight. I'm gonna see how that shit works.
Yeah.
3 sizes too
God
I mean,
small.
Damn.
I might have been a 7, so it might have been just 2, but still, I mean,
That's
it was
still
That's
hella.
still
I mean,
more
yeah.
than
curled
God
my
damn.
toes.
Well, I mean,
and
but that's
I mean,
a
like,
that's
curl,
a
I'm like, look at that. I mean, that's
That's a
Good
testament.
inch and a half, almost 2 inches.
That's a testament to like who you are and where you've come from, and like living a life now where we are coming. And that's where like, I mean, because that's the thing. Like I grew up in an atmosphere where like it was very like your clothing. It was all about brands. It was all about this and the other. Like I like with the toothbrush on the sidewalls and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that to my sneakers tonight.
Yeah. I mean, like the toothbrush to keep making sure everything's clean, everything. Like I wouldn't be like leaving the house unless I was like top to bottom, like fresh as fuck, right?
Yep.
I mean, like that type of level of like that shit gets it's taxing, it's tiring. I mean, and it's at the end of the day, it's a carrot on a stick, and you're never gonna get it. I mean, somebody's always gonna have something fresher. Somebody's always gonna have something newer, and it's just it's really the worst of capitalism, making somebody feel smaller for something that's just unattainable. So like, I appreciate this industry and where we're at now, and what we're able to do, and just be ourselves without having to like. Man, I can't remember the last time I like had to like. Don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, I will throw the little the magic eraser on that bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, were we comparing this to the beer industry for a little bit? Was that like part of it?
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
a beer, like just
but
people
I
being
kind of feel like it
themselves.
still kind of is becoming that, though. Not necessarily amongst our brewers, but I think like our consumers are still kind of in that mindset. You know, you think about this like haze craze thing. I mean, that is that on a different level. It's like you have to have this thing. And honestly, for us though, I feel like where Brewtal could be is like kind of we're gonna see hazy beers there, but like it's this place where it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is at all.
No. It has to be good though.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Well, no, but that's the thing though.
It matters in that sense, but yeah.
The turbidity of a beer doesn't dictate what the quality of it.
Yeah.
The turbidity.
Add that with Chloe.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean.
The turbidity. First, explain.
This is very turbid right now.
Turbid.
This is very, very hazy. Yeah. Like it's opaque. You can't see anything through it. Yeah. So like, I like quality isn't dictated by what the beer looks like. It's dictated solely by what it looks like and like what the beer is. You know, if we're having a lager beer and it is hazy, like unless it's a Keller beer, meaning unfiltered, like it shouldn't be hazy, you know, because that's
just a gimmick. That's a look that you're just trying.
Yeah. So I think like I see so many beers now where like that type of thing, specifically lagers, you know, because of our industry being so fascinated with hazy beers is kind of turning their back on what actually beer should be anymore.
Is there a difference like in the mouthfeel that you would get with a hazy? Like, does it have anything to do with like? Because I mean, I'm a big texture dude, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, like that's why I don't like nuts. I like nut flavor, like a peanut butter.
Well, you can change the mouthfeel by just your water chemistry, because and granted, certain things might perceivably have a different mouthfeel because of like how they look, and they might have worked on their water profile because of that too. But I mean,
like salty will make it more smooth or something like that.
Well, so a lot of the times with these hazy IPAs, you have a more chloride, quote unquote, like forward, water profile, and that creates this rounder mouthfeel. Yeah. And so it's like if you have maltier beers, like that kind of has that rounded mouthfeel. Yeah. I was working on my hazy beer and still trying to experiment with stuff, and my yeast basically flocked everything out. But it was
flocked everything out.
So flocculation means like yeast clumps come together and it naturally makes them drop out of solution. And so it's like coming to roll
your beer after it's been sitting for a while.
Yeah.
To unflock it.
Yeah. So I had that beer where ended up after a while becoming completely clear, but it still had that rounded mouthfeel. Still had every aspect of a hazy beer that I liked, but the clarity, it was clear. It was almost clear.
Honestly,
that was the yeast that did that.
It wasn't actually hazy.
Right, yeah.
But it was clear, but still had that mouthfeel.
If you drank it out of a can, you'd be like, oh, this is a really good hazy IPA.
Because that's what I guess, because I don't know. I mean, for me, the thing about haze that I liked was the mouthfeel, was the fact that it felt more, I guess what you say is round. Sure. And it's crazy that you describe it as round, because that's the way it feels. It kind of just feels
it sits
round.
On your palate a little bit better, and totally. But a lot of the ingredients that you're using in that they do that. Like wheat, you might use some other adjuncts like oat malt, different type of oats, spelt. Like I mean, there's stuff that do that to the beer.
Yeah, like the milkshake IPAs. I like that feel too. Like that's the
lactose
that's in there or whatever. I like that kind of, I don't know, like the milkiness, the silky kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the term is, but
No, for sure. I totally agree. I mean, we're drinking this one right now, and it's exactly that. But it's nice.
Cinderlands.
This is delicious.
This is really, really good.
I'm just waiting.
Finish.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Dave.
You could have been open.
No, bro. I'm respectful, dog.
Oh, I mean, it's shit. Well,
because what I was really nervous of was like if I start drinking it, you gotta wait. Then I'm gonna drink it all. Then you still gonna have some left. Ain't gonna be nothing left for me.
Please don't drink it all.
Be like,
For real. If you don't split that like even.
No, I'm
like,
that's what I'm saying.
This might be a special episode, like the last episode.
I would like fuck this up for real. Like,
well, I was talking about all in my glass, so that's what I'm saying. Like I would finish everything in my glass. He had just started, so that he'd have more, and I just have to be sitting here like, I want some more. Like,
Buzzy's
you
trying to get on this,
Buzzy in there. Yeah, Buzzy. And I helped.
But he's not giving us any of his beer. I'm just joking.
no, Buzzy here. Never drinking
Buzzy
partners.
bad.
Buzzy will like it.
Drinking partners is the crew, but Epic Cast is the family.
Yeah.
Family.
Hey.
It's very nice.
I definitely need one of those t-shirts.
Every time I come on the show, I have a blast.
Well, I would hope so. I have a blast every time I'm hanging out with y'all. Chill. I find it hard to like do other things whenever I bump into y'all, like in crowds and shit. Like I'm like, listen, I'm supposed to be doing other shit. Y'all got to stop talking to me, man. Because I just get enthralled, and I'm just like here because like y'all are always just doing dope shit. Like the conversation, like your the way you see the scene. Like I said, it's like, and again,
moving it forward. You're definitely moving it forward.
And I think with the Brewtal Festival, that's what you're gonna get coming to Brewtal Festival. Is this like? There's no like airs about y'all. Like, I mean, there's no like, you are very, very accomplished in each of you in what you do. Very well respected in the industry, are doing all of these things, bringing this together. But there's hella humility and like, there's no like, you're just real type shit. And you make people, you're disarming, I guess is what the term is. You're disarming in a sense.
One thing that I apparently am not.
No, it is hella disarming. Yeah,
you
guys, very, very kind of you guys to say.
But
you guys are like it's good to see you all as champions of the culture, like because that's to me like you guys are great representatives of what craft beer is to me. Like it's very inclusive. It's very like, hey, come on, try some shit. Y'all brought Cinderlands here. We're talking about your festival. You got your two respective breweries. He's like, yo, you need to try the Cinderlands. Like, that's how craft is. You know what I mean? It's like, yo,
you brought us
have a good fucking time. If I had to describe craft, it's like have a good fucking time. And so when you get someone who puts together an event, a festival around craft, you know what I mean? But you guys are like, yo, we gonna cater to the metal fans, you know what I mean? So now it's like, yo, y'all got y'all good time. But if you just like craft, come on through too, because it's gonna be good for you as well. Like,
but that's what beer is. It's a good time. That's what we're doing right now. We're getting together over beers.
Tart shake.
We're getting together over beers right now, having a good conversation, having a good time. And it doesn't matter what the label is saying. The contents of the can is delicious.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what we've always been trying to push too, you know, and I think like not only with Brewtal, but
labels
in general,
don't mean a thing.
I think like as long as the content is good and like me talking about like the culture being similar, like being almost very consumer-esque with like the hazy culture that's going on right now, it is a thing that, you know, it's something that, you know, we have to somewhat accept and understand. But at the same time, I would rather also open up those people up to say, hey, but there's a lot of really other great styles, because I'm meeting more and more people who will like turn their back on, say, a really nice nut brown ale. And like, I mean, I luckily work at a place that like that goes over really well with my consumers. So I get to make that. There's so many flavors with beer that I'm hoping, you know, and granted, we're also changing the culture saying, we're drinking a gin mule tart shake IPA.
I'm looking at
like,
that shit. Like
I didn't know what any of that meant.
I mean, like this is what the industry is like. You know, it's not only traditional, but
inspired beer like wave that's going on.
It's so cool.
I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I love that shit.
This one's amazing. I've had some that I don't like, but I've definitely seen like a couple come out that I'm really fans of.
Favorite cocktail? Whiskey sour. Favorite way to drink it: take a shot of whiskey, take a
Oh
shot
my
of
God,
sour
who are
mix,
you?
put it in your mouth at the same time, then shake it around.
Whiskey sour. Oh, well,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we experienced a little bit of that. We took the Equilibrium sour
put
and we
the
threw
Henny in
Henny in that.
Through the Henny sour.
The Henny sour.
The Henny sour.
Ooh.
That
That is
happened.
the
I wanna
ultimate.
try
Can we-
this.
can
That
we
happened in the
seriously do this?
170s, I think.
Is it possible to do this?
The Henny
we've been
sour,
talking-
baby.
We want a collaboration with a Henny like sour, like a cognac sour beer.
Ooh,
Cognac?
Yeah,
What?
that's because that's what. Yeah, we want a cognac sour beer. And
Can it be aged
You know what
in
I
like
wanna do?
cognac barrels?
That's
like,
exactly what it is.
yeah, so we've had
Yeah,
it, but
that's-
yeah, we got to
so
do
that's
it in
what
the
the-
sour spell.
That's where it's a sour.
Have you talked to
it's a
anyone about getting a
sour-
barrel? Because we could totally do
It's
this.
a
Like,
sour
I'd be into
aged
this.
in a cognac barrel. That's what we would like to. I mean, honestly, if we could get that going for maybe a fresh
The
batch.
blackest thing we've ever
The
done.
blackest thing.
That's what we want to
we
call
were-
it.
we were
want
drinking
the can to
Equilibrium.
read. Yeah.
And it was super sour. It was crazy sour, like too
Yeah.
sour. Like you can only really have about like 6.
I literally at
ounces.
our
You're
show
good.
watched a dude take, because at our shows they pour full cups, and dude brought a full cup and sat it strategically in the trash can so that it wouldn't spill. Because it was too fucking sour for him.
Yeah,
He's
it
like,
was
there's no
sour
way
as
I'm getting
shit.
through
No
that.
such
And-
thing.
Oh, shit.
And I put no,
No such thing.
I love sour.
None.
I
Nope.
love lemons. I love sour. But I was done with this shit, and like I saw, and we had a guest that came on. She brought Henny, and I was like, you know what, this might just
Because what we said at the beginning of the podcast resonates with people.
And I fucking
know-
poured that shit in, and it was like, what the fuck is you doing? And it ended up being a thing.
You know the big bottle of sour mix you can buy at the stores?
Yeah,
Drink a whole
You
bottle
just
straight.
crush all
I
that.
don't know why
All
you do things.
straight.
No, but let's
You're
talk
a
about too.
masochist.
Like,
You
You're
drink
really
okay,
a
sour
masochist.
mix
That's what
Just
we-
drink it. There's
You're a masochist.
So there's been so many stories of James, like from him growing up, that have been like I had to really experience his relationship with friends to totally actually believe the stories. But one of the stories he told me was one of his buddies like drank a bottle of whiskey, but he's also chasing it with milk, and I was like, I'm dead.
What?
This is disgusting. This
Oh,
is
it's kind of
fucking
making
so
a stout.
terrible.
What?
No. There's nothing stout about that. That is redneck
making a
bullshit.
whiskey
Like,
stout.
Bro,
oh
he's
my God.
making a throw up.
He never did.
He's making.
He was
Curdle.
making
Curdles
a
in
whiskey
his belly.
curdling,
Yeah.
he's curdling milk
It's a
in
whiskey
his stomach.
stout.
He's making a fucking whiskey.
But then I
cheese.
went to one of their summer parties, and I'm like, "Yep, I believe every story that you're telling me
that's
right now."
Whiskey cheese, bro.
How do you
Oh,
chase
God,
something
whiskey
with
cheese.
milk?
Yeah,
It
Milk
was-
probably
that's
though
Kentucky cheese.
is the milk is probably one of the top chasers, low key. 'Cause
Whiskey
it'll
cheese
mute
needs to be a beer name.
not for
Chaser
not for
what?
taste
Cookies.
to if you have like something extreme.
It's not a top chaser for anything.
If
other
you
than
have something extreme
products.
and you put some milk on your tongue, it'll mute that shit quick.
No, you're
is what
talking
I'm
about
saying.
like
You know-
wings and like hot
right.
shit.
That's what I'm
We're
talking
not talking about hot shit.
I'm not talking for
I'm
flavor.
talking about drinking. I hope you.
I'm
ain't
not
drinking
talking
too
for
much
flavor.
hot, like no.
I'm not talking for flavor. I'm just saying
Ooh.
you can get through a bottle of whiskey straight if you put milk on your tongue because it eliminates it.
No,
You know why he drank it?
Not at
To
all.
eliminate the acid reflux.
Exactly.
That was his.
That's
thing,
what
yeah.
I'm
That's
saying.
chalk. You
That's
put it
what
there,
I'm
you
saying.
Eat chalk. If you're gonna do that, eat chalk.
And
Don't-
you're telling me that sounds better
wants
than
to eat
chasing
chalk?
it with
Yeah,
milk?
like, who the fuck
I
wants to
will-
eat chalk?
He
I
said
will
eat
put-
chalk
I
like that
will-
was
I
a
will-
more
I will-
normal
Like
thing.
I will
Don't
eat-
drink
I will
Crayola
eat
chalk, like Crayola chalk, like
I will chase my beer with chalk before I chase it with my fucking milk. I will.
I don't
my
know
whiskey.
that you're in the majority.
I will,
That's
I will
all
chase
I'm
my
saying.
whiskey with
Yeah,
chalk
definitely.
before milk. Like
Party
really, you
over there.
Really, you crushing Jim Beam and chasing it with
Motherfucker,
milk?
you eating chalk.
That's
Like
Tums.
you keep acting like that sounds normal. You eat,
Man.
you said eat like you didn't say eat broccoli. You said eat chalk.
What's gonna make so what is gonna make your night better at the end of the night? Chalk or milk?
Milk.
Really?
I agree with
I could get
Adam.
chocolate
Yeah, I,
milk. Like,
I know I've never put I would put Tums in my mouth.
But that's
I
just
mean,
chalk. It's
but I
flavored
wouldn't-
chalk.
But you're
I've
saying
never
chalk.
taken
Like,
a
you're saying
Tums.
It's
chalk.
flavored chalk.
I've never
It's
taken
the
a tongue.
chemical reaction.
I've never
'Cause
taken
with
a
chalk.
tongue.
With chalk, you're soaking
I've
it up.
never
With milk.
tum tum tum
With-
tum. I've never tum tum.
With milk,
I'm
you're
not eating
curdling
chalk.
that shit in your
It's
stomach.
not happening, fam. I'm not eating
There's-
chalk.
Right,
My
man.
daughter writes on the street with this
there's-
shit. I'm not eating it.
Some
Next.
other horrible drinks: whiskey with Pepto.
That's
What the
terrible.
fuck?
Why would you not have whiskey with Pepto?
Where
I feel like
did
Pepto
you grow up?
Now, see, now,
Where were they doing that?
that's
Yippee,
good
New
shit.
York.
They were definitely huffing in your neighborhood.
Yes, they were.
Definitely huffing.
Definitely huffing. Most definitely.
Most definitely.
They trying to be mature over tonight. Well, yeah, that's actually reason.
No, when you say huffing, like, yeah, no, that
No
makes sense.
gasoline.
When
The
you're
guy
doing,
showed up
like,
after
yeah.
huffing gasoline, passed out. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Pepto Bismol and like that's masochist shit. Like that's
Pepto
you don't
and-
come by that easy.
Pepto and what?
Whiskey.
Whiskey. And it didn't work with vodka, huh? It had to be whiskey.
That's what was there.
That's Yinzer lean. I don't know what that is. I don't know what
But I would still take Pepto and whiskey over
You get-
Pepto and milk, man.
you
Who the
get-
fuck is fucking crushing Pepto and milk? Whiskey and milk.
Pepto and milk.
I just still can't-
Nobody, just like as many people as crushing whiskey and Pepto Bismol.
Man, no,
First of
wait,
all,
wait,
what's
wait.
Bismol? What's Bismol?
What is the Bismol and the
I
Pepto?
don't know.
What's the Pepto though?
I don't know.
It's horrible, but you can
it's
drink
too
all the whiskey
unknown.
I ain't
you
even gonna
want.
lie though. I liked Pepto Bismol as a kid. Whatever that pink shit was, I enjoyed that shit.
It's like
That was,
those little Canadian candy. It said Canada on the
no,
little
you're talking
pink
about
candies.
the dry ones.
Yeah.
No,
That's
we're
what
talking
Pepto
about the
tastes
little.
like.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the. Oh, you're talking about the. Did you have the liquid Pepto? 'Cause
No,
they got
no, the liquid Pepto, but
Yeah.
they taste like those little round pink candies.
Oh,
that
the
said Canada on them.
Maltos or some
Yeah,
shit.
I never,
like that.
I never did those.
You know what I'm talking
Pepto
about?
I had to pour it in the little plastic shot glass they gave me and take Pepto that way. It was
but I'm talking about with the candy, not the.
I
not
ain't
the,
fuck with the candy.
No, you know the candy. It's
No,
that
that-
like that. They're like different color wafer kind of.
Yeah.
Like in a roll.
Necco.
Sweet tart?
the-
Sweet
Yeah,
tart?
Necco. They're called like Necco or
wafers.
whatever.
Necco wafers.
Yeah, Necco wafers. It's the bottom of the bag on Halloween
Yeah.
and shit. Like this, a little.
You get
roll.
real mad when you get them.
Yeah. Well,
I was bougie with my candy.
no,
as a child.
you'll Google that shit. And
I was
see it
bougie.
afterwards.
It wasn't too many low budget candies outside of the
It
penny
wasn't a low
candy.
budget candy. It just was
Outside of the fruities, which was the penny candy, I was top shelf on the candy thing.
Yeah.
No, Necco, everybody had it. Fucking
wasn't
just like everybody had the
fucking-
peanuts and everybody had the
Nope.
candy corn. It
Nope.
was just a thing.
I never ever ate candy
right.
corn.
never ate candy corn.
I had
never
one
ate
piece-
candy corn.
I had one
You
piece.
ain't never had a piece of candy corn
Had
ever in your
one.
motherfucking life.
No.
Ever.
No.
Once.
No.
In your motherfucking
It's
life.
disgusting.
Never
You missed-
had candy
No.
corn.
You
No.
missed nothing.
Motherfucker. Hunted in
Why
it.
would you
Nothing.
eat candy corn?
Why would you not
Who the
taste
fuck
something
wants
like that?
candy corn?
You don't
No
even.
one.
You remind me
I
of my
was
daughter.
regular corn wasn't good. Why the fuck would I want it candied?
Wait.
It's disgusting.
Wait. Let's stop here. Did you just say regular corn isn't good?
Regular corn ain't good. It's edible. It ain't good. Like I'm not eating corn like, damn, this corn good as fuck. When the last time you said this corn good as fuck? It's buttery as hell.
Over
Maybe
the
on
summer,
a
I
cob.
totally said the same thing over the summer. I love corn though. Like, come on.
And
I
no,
don't-
love
fresh
corn,
corn,
too.
fresh corn.
You've lost me. I'm done with this podcast.
You could be gone.
I'm done with this podcast.
Chip-
This gets into the realm of I'm not
Wait.
fucking with this dude anymore.
Well, don't fuck with me.
Don't
I ain't-
nobody,
nope,
don't nobody
I ain't-
say corn isn't
I
good.
ain't eating
Corn
corn
is
and being
one
excited.
Of the most
You ain't
corn
excited about no
fucking
fucking
I
corn.
love corn.
You ain't
I
excited
love
about no
corn.
damn
I
corn.
fucking
No.
love
You
corn.
excited
Hold on.
about corn?
I love corn. There's
You
never
call
time.
corny
I
dudes
love corn.
corny.
I love corn.
When a dude is a lame, you say he corny.
You know why?
You
corn-
say he's corny,
It's corny.
for a reason.
It's you know why it's a reason?
He's not
Because
sugary.
It's because
He's
it's,
not tasteful.
It's
He's
because it's
corny.
Corn is everywhere, and you're saying he's a hack because it's so prevalent. Because
No,
everybody
you're saying
fucking
he's
loves
lame, and I
corn.
don't want to
Oh
hang
my
around.
God.
you
Wait,
'cause I got
wait,
no-
wait.
You got no flavor.
This is what I told you.
Corn-
That's why I wanted
You
to. I
telling
wanted
them
to
corn
drop
has
out
no
of this
flavor.
conversation.
Corn is only good on the cob.
What the fuck you?
And only with butter.
in
and
cereal
only- and a shit ton
in
of salt.
cereal.
And I
shit
gotta
ton of
see,
salt.
in
and I
cereal.
gotta see the butter.
No, in
I
ce-
gotta
in-
see the butter.
in,
Gotta
in
see it?
cereal, in
No.
bread,
No.
in fucking
Cornflakes
liquor,
people hate.
and, like,
they
in-
had to make
in
frosted
liquor.
flakes. They had to make frosted
In
flakes
liquor.
because corn was
is,
whack.
Or you know what? All the you know, y'all just fucking with me right
No.
now. Now y'all
No,
trolling
no.
me. Y'all
Corn-
go fuck
corn is
yourself.
terrible.
Corn is only good on
All
the
right.
cob
I'm done talking to
with
y'all.
butter and salt, and as soon as you cut it off, it's trash.
Done
That's
talking to
all
y'all.
it
I
is.
cut corn off a cob for James one time, and
Trash.
he got mad at me.
Mad.
He was like,
You-
this
are
is
you
bad.
Ruined
serious?
it. Ruined
Yeah.
it. Ruined it. It
Mad
tastes
at me.
different. It tastes different different. I don't care.
corn
you
off
couldn't
the
see
cob.
that
I want
butter.
to eat it
Can't
on
see the butter?
cob.
You gotta see the
Who
butter
fuck-
on the corn.
Who the fuck takes?
It's like pancakes.
Cut the kernels off of it. You
Garbage.
I mean, I'm okay with
It's
either.
garbage.
I would
Yeah,
don't
mean,
want that
shucked
in
it.
any way, shape,
She
or form.
shucked-
No,
Wait,
give
wait,
me that.
She shucked
you're
the
not
corn
cool
on the
with
cob. She shucked it.
No, shuck. Yeah, no. You. That's what I feel like you
Wait,
did. You took something to that. No, hand me my corn on the motherfucking cob.
Wait, so you're
As soon as
in Team James here?
Yeah,
right
as soon
now,
as
too.
it's
I
off,
don't-
it's
to me, I
garbage.
don't
Yeah.
matter.
No, I
It
don't
doesn't
want
matter.
that.
If
No,
it's-
if I wanted, I
it's-
would get a
it's best
can.
on the
cob.
I would have went and go got. I
I
would have got a
don't
can.
But
I want
only if I could see the
my
butter.
shit on the. I want to. Yeah, I mean, I want to have that whole experience.
So you go home
That's
tonight
fine.
and wifey got a bowl of corn. You gonna eat it? No, you gonna be like, where the fuck is the flavor? Where's the flavor? Where is
it
the
depends on how you
flavor
make
of
no.
this meal?
It depends on how you making that motherfucking corn, bruh. Because I've had
If you
some.
make it
I've had
on
good
a
bowls.
cob with
I've
the
had good
butter
bowls.
showing,
I've had good
yes.
bowls of corn. I've had some good bowls of corn.
You ain't
I
had-
love
Get the
corn.
fuck
I love
outta
corn
here.
and I love corn and chili.
I had a good bowl
Corn and
of
chili.
I have
That's
good
a
in
totally
chili.
different thing too. Corn and chili. I'm
I
cool
love
with it.
corn
He's
and
against
chili.
it. He's
corn
so
and
anti-
chili
No.
is
anti-corn
chili.
I
chili.
love corn and chili.
Corn and chili is chili, motherfucker.
Yes.
Like that's not about
Okay,
the corn.
okay. I have never had a bowl of corn
Thank you.
by
Thank
itself
you
with
for
no
clarifying that.
other thing.
This motherfucker
But
had a
I have
bowl.
had corn on the cob by itself and
That's
then
fine.
Butter
fuck
showing.
that up.
With the
And
butter
fuck
showing.
that up.
Yep.
Yeah,
So it
I
sounds like
mean,
it's just
You didn't
your
see the butter on it?
it's a
situation.
texture. It's a
Did you-
texture thing. I told you I told you already. I'm a texture
That
dude.
doesn't mean corn is
And
good. That means
It is
that's
good.
an exclusive on the cob
Bruh,
situation.
it's
that's
good.
like vegetable
It's
meat.
versatile.
That's like eating a drumstick of
Bruh.
vegetables.
If I could
that's
eat it,
cool.
if I can,
but you're
if I-
not just eating corn, fam. I don't believe
What do
you.
you mean? I'm eating it on the cob. I'm saying pick that bitch.
Even corn on the
Pick
cob
that
need a
bitch.
rib or something
No,
coming later.
no.
Like it's
Pick
gotta be.
that-
It's gotta
pick
be a
that
promise
bitch.
of something extra.
I'm doing you. All you got to
Yeah.
do the most minimum shit. Pick that bitch off of the fucking plant and boil it and give it to me.
and put butter on it, and
what
I
else
gotta
can you-
see the butter.
The
I
butter,
have to
the
see
butter is
it.
the best part.
I mean, I love the butter. Don't get me wrong. I love the
Exactly.
butter.
You know
I
why?
love the
The
salt.
store
I
don't
love the
taste
pepper.
like
You know what?
motherfucking
But
thing.
but listen.
Do you
listen.
always eat the
I'll
corn?
eat
If
that
you
shit
took-
raw. I don't fucking
if
care.
you took that shit away, and if you're talking about how corn became what it was, if you're talking about the very beginning of our fucking civilization, right?
We don't eat the same shit in the same way as they did.
You know what we do?
Seasoning? They
We
didn't have
pick that
Lowry's back in the
shit
day.
off.
You season your meat.
That's
now.
how corn became what it was. Motherfuckers didn't have butter. They didn't have salt. They didn't have pepper. All they did was pick that shit
you
the
don't
fuck
eat it like
off.
them.
And they ate
You
that
don't
shit.
eat
And I
it
was
like
like, you
them.
know what?
You don't eat it like them.
We should see where we can go with this.
We don't.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't have pepper.
That's what they did.
They didn't
We
have
can see.
pepper.
So now we have all of these various things. We have
And
we
it's
have,
mandatory
we have,
that
we
you
have
take advantage of
cereals.
one of
we
them,
have
which is butter.
motherfucking like corn chili,
Corn syrup?
corn syrup. We have like there's so many things that have corn that you don't even know about, but you know where it
They have
started.
corn
you
in
know
it,
where it
but
started.
corn
A
is not the
motherfucker
it.
picked that shit off the fucking vine.
They have
or
corn
the
in it,
stalk,
but corn
and they
is
bit
not
that shit
the
and
it.
said,
I'm not saying it's not a great
We can work
complimentary
with
piece.
this.
I'm not going to
Motherfuckers
sit
just
at
was
a
like,
table
yo.
with a barren ass
Yup.
cobbed corn
Man.
with no butter.
I think this
and
podcast
just
officially
eat
should be
this
a
shit.
corn podcast.
bruh. I know y'all got that
Officially.
beans over here, and I know y'all feel a certain way about beans, but look,
Wait, what
I've
kind
been
of
growing
beans,
this
though, man?
corn over here. Yeah, I mean, y'all don't know about this yet, but one bite and you hooked, and that's how corn got started,
Wait.
bruh.
That's
Only-
not.
but for
That's
me-
not
but
the
for
story
me-
at all.
For me.
One bite and you hooked,
That
bruh.
is probably not true.
That's how it
Somebody
is.
bit that motherfucker and didn't die, and it was like, you know what? Paw stayed alive.
You know what? I want to go back to that and see those junk histories when they like people tested things like that. And they're like, no, that's how they did it too.
I will.
Like they're like, hey, eat this, and they chose the person they hate the most
This
in
was
their
of the
clan or
earth.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
And they
like,
was like, eat
yo, eat this, and did you
He
die?
likes it.
Did you die?
Yeah.
No, he ain't like it. They didn't care about
mean-
flavor because they didn't have seasoning. They didn't care about the shit. Just tasted how it tasted.
Bruh.
You couldn't make shit better. You could have just
Hey,
not burned
we
the
can
meat.
start talking about how beer got created too, because that's
We
exactly
can.
We
how
could-
the fuck it got created.
let's
too.
talk about Egypt. Let's talk
All
about this
about
fucking
it.
stale ass,
All
old ass,
about it.
founded in the
All
in the
Probably
back.
super sour.
Yeah.
Sour.
Oh, that shit wasn't good. You didn't eat that. and
But
was
it
like,
made you feel good, so that's all that matters.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You
That's
woke
what
up the
I'm
next
feeling good.
morning
I'm
like,
feeling good.
We
I'm feeling
time
good.
back-
what?
Changing
Who
that
had
narrative.
the first hangover?
Everyone.
Was it Adam or
Who,
Eve?
like-
Everyone.
Who had the
Adam
first?
got
It was
eaten
everyone.
pregnant, and he ain't really want no
Unlucky
kids. I
person.
feel like he had the first hangover.
Who was it? What was his name? The motherfucker that had the first hangover. That was like,
Unlucky.
Loki.
yeah, I mean,
Unlucky.
Let's call him. Oh, just you're gonna call him unlucky.
Unlucky.
I'm gonna call him
Unlucky,
yeah.
Unlucky.
Whoever that was.
Unlucky. Let's call
Unlucky.
him unlucky.
Because whoever had that was just like, I'm dying all day. I'm like, what? This is the worst thing.
That was
ever.
pretty much
Nobody
us
knew how to
yesterday
treat
too.
it either.
That was
I
us
wake up
yesterday.
knowing I'm gonna have a hangover, but it's like, oh my god, why is this happening?
Yes,
is that what they
Yes.
call it? The devil's elixir. You know what I mean, because they thought they were possessed. They were like, he was
and they
like
probably-
they're sweating and shit. And it's like, oh my god.
And the first
I
person
feel
with a
like I'm
hangover
dying.
probably
It's like, oh my
drank-
god, you've been touched by the devil.
Yeah, and the
then
first
like,
person with a hangover probably drank milk, and that because that was one of their beverages.
Yeah.
We're
And
tying
they probably
so
drank
many-
milk
Yeah.
straight from the teat,
Yeah.
and it just
and you know what brought him back from the dead?
Not corn.
Little Miss Muffet, Little Miss Muffet had the first hangover. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffy eating
Probably
her curds and whey.
Probably some.
Along came a spider who
probably-
sat down, but she was hungover. She
Probably
was
some
fucked up.
cornbread, man.
She might have gotten like bit by the spider and gotten a little fucked up off that, you know. Just want to
Okay,
see
there it
Let's
is.
go there. Let's go there.
Cornbread, yo, bruh, cornbread. Are you fucking kidding
Oh my
me?
God, I
tell
love
me,
cornbread.
Tell me, cornbread won't bring you back from the brink on some motherfucking hangover.
Especially
shit.
with butter.
Dude,
if you
butter.
are drinking,
Butter's
and
good.
yes,
Loafers,
with-
Anything involving
bread,
hold on,
for real.
corn.
I fucking
Anything with
love
corn primarily in
stop.
corn primarily in the name. Popcorn, cornbread, corn on the
Gotta
cob.
have butter.
You need butter. Butter
Gotta
is.
have
I mean,
the
but I'm
key
also a
ingredient.
butter fiend. Like, let's talk like this.
Like cornbread
2
with
seconds.
butter
I
is
fucking love
different
butter.
cornbread than the cornbread you just get regular.
It
Like,
really
No,
is.
have you ever? Okay, so
Oh.
I usually get cornbread from Loafer's Bread Company in Pittsburgh
Yep.
every year, and it's not your typical like super sweet. It has some sweetness. It is so good. It is literally like a round loaf of bread. It has cornmeal in it. It's a little sweet. It's fucking delicious. Go buy it. It's delicious.
Corn. I mean,
Yes.
corn ties even into Brewtal. They were the metal
How?
band that got me into metal.
Oh Jesus Christ!
corn with a K, right?
Okay,
Corn
and
with
the
a backwards
R.
K. Oh, whoa.
Backwards R.
Oh, whoops.
No,
My
the
bad.
spelling.
I was never
Oh,
into
shit.
corn. This is like a like.
Oh, no.
He's
Wait.
like, no, you would
I
like
grew
them
up-
if you knew them. In
So
your high
when I
school.
was squeezing my feet into the Adidas
Which
shoes,
I kind of don't believe that story. Like, how is that possible? But
It's just
before-
sad. It just makes me
it
want to cry.
might not
It
have
makes me
been.
wanna
It might not have been
So
eight.
sad.
It honestly might not have been 8 to 5s. It might have been like 7 to 5s. But I mean, while that was happening, like they were wearing those shoes in those videos on TRL back when MTV they were showing music. Yeah. Oh yeah. And they were the first kind of band. Yeah. I was like, this band is. And then when you start learning about the band, because that, you know, back in the day, that's what you did with the artist. No matter what it was, you wanted to know everything about them if you felt strongly with them. And they had similar upbringings, bullied, you know, things like that. So I was just like, all right, I'm not alone in this world. And then all of a sudden you're just, you know, in this whole other realm, just going down rabbit holes and finding, you know, corn leads to this, and then it leads to that, and then it leads to this. And before you know it, you're so far removed and you're discovering whole other genres of music due to this.
The same thing happens with people in beer too.
But
and
not
that's
Same
what's
thing
awesome.
with beer,
That's
yeah.
what's so
Not,
cool
but
You
about
drink
it.
a
the actual
Pilsner.
corn though, right? We're not talking.
No,
about
the band corn, the band
Yeah,
corn.
Band corn. That's what I'm saying.
And how, like, when I was squeezing my feet into those
Yeah.
shoes that didn't
Because
fit,
they influence.
and I saw them and they were wearing them,
That's
and
what
I was
I love
like,
about it.
and it was
love
so
that,
cool.
like,
And that's why, like, no matter how anyone feels about that band today, I will always support them and go see them and buy their records, because
awesome.
they made me feel empowered to the point where I didn't have to feel like a loser if I'm not wearing the right shoes, the right brand or anything. And that matters. And that's stayed with me to this day. Like, when I started loving metal and playing in bands, I was the nerd. I was wearing those trip pants from Hot Topic. They had to go over the tips of my shoes, and I was playing D&D in public, wondering why girls didn't like me. Playing D&D in public, they're not going to like you. But, you know,
Sign
it
up. Let's all get a
influenced me
D&D
to be
thing
like,
going here.
it doesn't matter. Be who you are. Love yourself, and it all comes. And I'm now married to a Silver Award-winning, awesome, badass.
Man.
Like, it all works out. Just be
Yeah.
true. Love what you want to love. Do what
I mean,
you want to do, and just be yourself. It's awesome.
Y'all got a Brad and Angelina like feel in like the craft beer scene here in Pittsburgh.
But they got
like, of the
divorced.
two.
That's not a great example.
Y'all
they-
like
did they
J
get
and B?
divorced?
Oh, yeah,
J and
I don't
B.
think so.
Apparently, it can't be
Really?
J and B.
Wait,
it's J and
they got
B.
divorced?
For sure.
They're
I
J
don't
and B
stick
of
up with
Pittsburgh
the-
craft.
Yeah, they had a JMB.
Yeah, you'll probably. I mean, most likely see us if we ever have kids. You'll see adoption. So that's fairly.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Nice.
but
I'm all about not procreating.
show.
I got 2 kids. I don't know if I can say that. What I say, but I think just listen to that. How cool is it to go from I'm influenced by the culture to now I'm moving things forward?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if I feel that
moving
way
the
yet,
culture.
though. I feel like we still have a lot. I personally feel like we still have a lot more ways to go. But I think like where we are right now, this is like the best. I don't know, like talking about James talking about like how he feels about corn is like I'd rather keep influencing the culture towards like exploration and trying to understand what's going on, because that's, as a brewer, that's all I do. It's like so I think some of my humility comes from always wanting to know more and learn more versus like thinking that I know everything, because I just know I don't,
The man who knows something knows that he knows nothing at all. Yeah, but Erykah Badu.
Well, you asked the question earlier, like, how do you want to influence it? Like you asked how you wanted to influence both cultures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely. That was a good question that we never got back to.
Like if you see me, like, because I'm in a couple bands now that are going to be coming, and I brew beer, and you see me at beer festivals. My big way is to just have fun. Like, it doesn't matter how much you know or how much someone perceives that you know. Just have fun, be who you are, show it to people, because people ultimately gravitate to who you are, and they can tell if you're being real or fake.
People gravitate towards vulnerability.
They do.
You know what I mean?
And they respect it and they love it.
Yeah.
And I think that's key.
And I think like the end product still speaks for itself too. So no matter what,
Yeah.
if someone still comes and they have a Spoonwood beer, no matter how naked you get at an event, they're still going to have that beer and be like, "Oh, he
And that's
makes
why-
this."
No, man,
yeah,
but
like for real, like that.
No-
that's how it is.
no
you
matter-
know?
You definitely do. I mean, just my experience being around like the two of you, like your energy is that of a disarming kind of like, I feel comfortable being myself. Yeah, I mean, in that environment or whatever. And like, if you're looking at art and like beer and the whole thing or whatever, in general, that is what we're doing is vulnerability. Like, like when I make money, like working for somebody for a paycheck or whatever the fuck, like I know, like, all right, well, you give me this task, I have to do this task within this certain amount of time. Okay. And because I did this task, I am deserving of this much money that we talked about in the beginning of this relationship, and then right? But when you put out a beer, there's no market value for the flavor of that, or there's no like guarantee that people are going to like that. When people like that for me, like when people like a joke that I do, is way bigger than if my boss, when I was working, was happy that I completed a task that I did. Now, I may have gotten way more money doing that task that I did, you know what I mean? But I got way more in enjoyment because there's no market value on what I'm doing right now with this joke. This is just me bearing myself out there to the world. Right. So, I mean, in the sense of what you're doing, whenever you release a beer, you're basically like, it's your vulnerability. You're saying, hey, I did this thing. I spent a lot of time working on this. I hope that you like it.
Do you feel like you have something to say? Sorry,
It's that whole idea is, I mean, there is a creative process behind beer, behind music, behind comedy, because there's a journey. There's a journey that takes place between, the start. Like, what beer do I want to do? What kind of song do I want to do? What kind of joke? I'm assuming, like, what kind of joke do I want to tell? Or like, what is the influence behind this certain particular thing that I'm trying to do? And then you have this start line and this finish line, and there's mountains and valleys, and you take it. Like, I'm assuming, because I've listened to a lot of comedians' podcasts saying like they'll go to like different venues and try these jokes out. So, and like they forge them due to the reactions from club to club, and you do that with songs, like, and you do that with beer. Like, Killer Diller at Spoonwood is not the same recipe from day one. And you listen to people, and you take the pros and the cons, and you try to keep forging your way along. So anytime anyone is willing to put that creative process on the line whether it hits home or not, there has to be a certain level of respect, because it takes a lot for a person to put themselves on the line like that. So no matter if you love or it just doesn't quite go, there's always going to be an appreciation from me, at least in that regards, because I know what that's like to write a song, to craft a beer from your mind and be like, this is what I'm looking for. So no matter if it's my favorite brewery or least favorite brewery, my least favorite band or favorite band, favorite comedian, least favorite comedian, there's always going to be a level of respect, because it takes a lot to put yourself on the line like that. And I think that's the thing that gets lost with a lot of people. They don't realize the risk that is actually being taken to stand there in front of people, to be in front of people, and to do that takes so much. And I'm an introverted person. I'm shy. I don't like, and it takes, unfortunately, alcohol or being in a band to come out of that shell. So people don't realize that struggle that people deal with to get to that point. So like next time they go on an app and they want to rate something, not be like, oh, I hate IPAs, this is garbage, because what you're doing is you're inhibiting someone from trying that beer potentially. And that's harmful to people who are putting their names on the line. And
stop being a hater.
Yeah.
Stop being a fucking hater.
I want people to be honest and open. Oh my
embrace
God,
and enlighten
really?
your
Yeah.
senses. Even if you don't like something, realize that is someone's passion.
Yeah.
I am very
Sorry.
curious. No. I'm so, that was what I was waiting for you to like unleash.
They have
This
a
is-
moment. We need to leave the room.
You know, every time, every time, get out of here. No.
And I can go.
I'm about to adopt that uterus. I'm
Excuse
sorry.
me?
I'm sorry.
What the fuck is happening here?
I am about to say that
heard
to
it
wifey.
here first.
When she come home, they out of town. I'ma send her a text.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now. Get away,
I'm
man.
almost
Get
home, babe. I'm about to adopt that uterus. Wow. Oh shit!
Whoa.
No.
Wow.
You, that's the
Wow.
safest thing you
You
can
heard
I'm out of
it
here.
here
I'm out of here.
first.
I'm about to adopt that uterus.
Yeah.
Whisper that
was
to him.
passion.
I'm gonna
I'm
get back
gonna
to you.
whisper that to
Professional.
There was a passion there, man.
I apologize.
Wow.
What I was actually
Move the-
meaning
somebody
was
get
that
a fan in this motherfucker. Somebody.
Woo! My nipples are hard.
Woo, the passion. Man. No, I
but
feel that.
that's a passion that I get to see that James doesn't always feel comfortable. But obviously, we're a few beers in, so like when I was trying to ease him into being like, no, talked about Brewtal with this, because that for us though is like really how we feel about a lot of things. Is that like I wish people took away any sort of judgment based on like anything but what they're consuming, no matter what it is, music, comedy, beer, whatever it is. You know, it should always be about what's in front of you. And I think we obviously are very, very much so influenced by whatever our surroundings are, whether it's people, social media, the environment you're in. Because for real, like I've seen people like certain places because they like how it looks, how it feels. You know, I've seen people describe people like, oh, they have a really cool outdoor area. Like, and that's all I hear about them. But like they judge the products based on like the fact that they get to go sit outside with their dogs, and that's awesome to them, and I love that, and that's great. But like at the same time, like you should be judging the product, right? And getting to know as a consumer what you're drinking and what you like, and you might like things over other things, but yeah. And I'm hoping that like that's our influence on this industry. Honestly, is like trying to push people towards finding themselves versus being influenced. And I think that's all that's happening right now, is that there's so much outside influence and no one actually knows who they are, what they like anymore. It's
mean,
weird.
that's a common thing that I've been like hearing, like talking to a lot of brewers and whatnot, is this like, it's getting into that pop culture-ish kind of like, like everybody wants to just please the crowd, as opposed to what it began as like, getting out there and like, doing something well, and appreciating the product that you're actually like putting out there, and like in industries in general, like the Yelp generation that we're in, where like people are very quick to just like shit on things and very slow to like give good reviews, right? So like people are just, they come in and like you said, a style. And it's hard to differentiate sometimes between a style, like your personal preference for a style and a bad beer, right? And we were talking like I see these posts like with the Facebook groups and shit like that, and like motherfuckers like, oh my god, this bad beer I had here at this thing or whatever, and it's like, well, the bad beer that you had, was it because it was a bad brewery? Or was it because it was a bad beer that was served because the lines were skunk, or that it was handled or whatever?
Or was it just a style that you don't
Or was it
prefer?
exactly? Was it a
Was
style?
it well executed,
you
but
don't,
you just don't like?
you don't like sours. You had a sour. Are you going to be like, oh fuck these guys because they be sours? Or is it just like, I just don't like sours? You know what I mean? Like, but people are way more like, because they want to feel like they have a voice, like they want to feel like they're important. So like when they make controversy and when they say, oh, well, I don't like, everybody's like, I love this, I love this, I love this. When they're the guy that says, well, I don't like it, then now they're important now.
But at the same time, too, it's like I don't want to see that type of influence happen over our community, which I feel like because our industry is still a little bit young here in Pittsburgh, that oftentimes I think certain breweries make decisions based on what the community is saying because they want to make sure the community is happy. They want to make sure their consumers are very happy. And instead of us having a very dominant community saying, no, these breweries are making something because this is what they believe in and this is what they like doing, we don't have that necessarily yet. There's a couple breweries, I think, doing that, but it's not all across the board. And I think you see that in more well-established communities where brewers are like, hey, I'm only going to do this and this is what I'm going to do, or I'm going to do all of this but still not have that influence back, and it's weird. It's a weird, like, consumer driven like type.
I think one, I just want to let everybody know that most brewers and around that I'm at, like when I go to breweries, whatever, they have their classics they love. I was talking to Thomas Poet, and like he was like, yeah, people don't like, they don't like the classics or whatever. Like, they are getting away from the hits. And a lot of brewers, hams is a thing that I see on a regular. Genesee is a thing that I see. I mean, you're seeing this like even in the industry going back to pilsners and lagers and doing like and cream ales and doing these like classic styles, but doing them like well, you know what I mean, in this whole like throwback or whatever. And it kind of smacks in the face of that hoity-toity, like, oh well, man.
But at the same time, I'm seeing that culture feed into that though a little bit. Like, you're not necessarily seeing like all the different types. There's still a part of it that I'm seeing that is still influenced by that. Like, I see people being like, they just know about a Pilsner. That's all they talk about. Or dad beers. I hear dad beers all the time. And I think that's personally a little bit offensive to me, that I'm like, okay, well, what is a dad beer to you? Does that mean it's just any sort of lager? Or is it hams? Or what is it? It's still like, to me, that undereducated side of the industry right now that's happening,
Don't drink dad beers, drink rad beers.
There we go.
Okay. I think that's a good way to end this off. Like that should be the tagline of the festival. Don't drink dad beers, drink rad beers. And you can get all the rad beers at Brewtal Beer Fest on October 20th. Let the people know where they can find you.
All social medias are at Brewtal Beer Fest, or you can go to pghbrutalfest.com. That's pghbrewtalfest.com. And you can find all the deets you need to know, all the tickets you need to get, right there.
Dave, let the people know where they can find us.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnerSpot.
We want to thank our guests, the Evanses. The Evans. They're going to have a playlist on iTunes. It's going to rival the Carters, because that's what Jay and Beyonce are. They're the Carters. Y'all the Evans.
The Evans.
Y'all Evans.
The Evans.
The Evans. Means something to crap, man. Make sure you support Brewtal Beer Fest, yo. It's going to be a good-ass time. We'll be in the building.
Silver medalist.
Silver medal.
Maybe I'll save a keg for the festival. Maybe I'll save a keg, guys.
You got to make a chain. You got to make a silver medal chain. I don't know.
I honestly, like, side note, I have asked Tom already to start working on a belt for me, so I can just go to every event with, like, a belt that looks like a hop. I'm like, dude, I need this.
That actually is going to feel real
Intercontinental champion.
James is still my manager, so
Yep.
he'll always be my.
You Bobby Heenan,
You all are one.
yeah.
You're the Evans now. So
the
listen.
Paul Bearer.
The Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah.
All right, we done talked y'all ears off. Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family, and we out.
Oh man, thank you so much. This is fun.
Epicast.